What's up, man? Happy Friday. How we doing, man? What's going on, Coop? Fix mine.
What's going on?
I'm good, man. It's another busy day, man. We had a whole bunch of stuff planned to speak about, and we ended up just kind of going with what the fans wanted us to do, and we're gonna do a mock versus of Outkast and Mobb Deep. So
So,
I
Mike,
was
can I say
chosen to do
something right quick?
Outkast. Go ahead, go ahead.
So, I was at the Falcons game last night, Mike.
Uh huh.
Go Braves.
Man, it is what it is, man. Like I'm not listen. I'm from
If
Atlanta. I root for Atlanta teams. Always gonna be a Braves fan, Hawks fan, but with the Falcons, you got to give people a reason to want to back what you got going on. And
I
the
mean,
fact
Mike,
that the Falcons refuse to hold Matt Ryan accountable for anything or won't even draft, not even draft, won't even get a backup who we know would possibly make him work and know that his spot is threatened. It's like, man, I can't sit here and root for something that ain't even trying to win.
Mike, it wasn't even no mid. There was like sticks and stems on the field last night. Like that was bad.
And the Patriots
And,
ain't
and
even a good team like that. You know what I'm saying? They got a rookie quarterback. You go out there and get blown out by a rookie quarterback. I don't care what we got on the field. I blame Matt Ryan. If you are that guy, certain things just shouldn't be happening. You getting shut out?
shut out at home.
You know.
Mike, I got invited. If I would have paid for a seat to see that last night, oh,
You froze up, man. But I'm sure you're gonna get back in. I think it's probably a signal issue. But yeah, man, we got a whole lot to talk about today, man. First things first. Rest in peace, young Dolph.
yeah.
Um, cool. Hang up and hit me back, man, because I want to make sure you're clear here. I don't want to start the show off with us pausing. So,
Yeah, that's cool. I'll hit you right back.
want to welcome everybody into the room. Yeah, today, man, we are going to be talking about the Snoop album, Algorithm. We're going to do the mock verses that we were telling you guys, well, that you guys are telling us that you wanted last week, and Outkast and Mobb Deep. I'm taking on 20 Outkast records, and Coop is going to be taking on 20 Mobb Deep records. Let me go ahead and get Coop back in the room, too. Oh, there he is. He's hitting me back. All right, let's see. Let's see. Make sure you in motion. Make sure you in motion. Yeah, you good now. You good now. But yes, R.I.P. Young Dolph, man, and whole lot circulating around that. Everybody comes to the internet with their speculations and all that, and I don't want to even get into any of those things. But I know we were on live the other day, and while it was happening, and I got a notification or I got a text message from my homie. It was like, then it got Dolph, and I was like, dang. I always hate having to report that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I remember the first time that I think I really had to report something like that was with XXX Tentacion. And I know it was reported that he had gotten shot. I was hoping that he pulled through, and he didn't. Um, you just remember where you're at during those moments. And same thing with Nipsey. When I got notified of that and I had to report that, actually, it was a similar situation where it was a shooting at the Marathon store, and someone was dead. They didn't identify who was dead yet, and it was people in our comment section saying that they had talked to a promoter that's close to this, and this. So we were learning those things kind of before it was officially reported, and I just hate hearing about those. That's like the that's like the lowest part of the journalism sphere, having to report that stuff. And I don't know, man. It's unfortunate, man. It seems to be one of those things that's just singular to hip hop artists. Is that fair to say?
So, I was on a thread with one of my friends, and he said something that really struck me and stayed with me. He said, man, being a rapper is like, he's like, I don't know why anybody would even want to be a rapper anymore. He's like, it's so dangerous to be out here and to live this lifestyle this way. He's like, niggas just keep getting clipped off.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think that yes, maybe a certain type of rap music, because honestly, a certain type of rap music and imagery is definitely unique in its own in all genres. Like nobody's out here trying to gun down Lauryn Hill and the Fugees. You know what I mean? And another
Well, I
great
mean,
group that
that's
we're talking about,
yeah.
Outkast, right? Like Big Boy can go any and everywhere he wants to and always has been able to do so. And you know what I'm saying, is the biggest thing in the world, you know what I mean? And so I think
Yeah,
that it's a it's a content thing. I mean, I hate to say it like that, and it's not faulting anybody, because obviously people are speaking on the ills of their environment and things that their environment reflects and things they see. But I think it's all of the promotion and the vibrato around it that creates that type of energy. You know what I mean?
no, Mike, all of those things that you were saying are incorrect. And I don't want you to come off like you're being insensitive to the situation and what happened, because the things that you're saying are correct. So let's go ahead and get all
No,
those things
I'm not.
clear and
No,
stated.
no, for real. Rest in peace. No, I don't want to come across as that
No,
easy.
no, no, because
Thanks
I
for
no, no, no. I just don't
clarifying
want
that.
anybody watching this that may like jump in to take it that way. So like, I
Right,
just
right,
want to clarify it to make sure that that's not even going to be an issue at all.
right.
But here's what I do want to say is that there's just a line with certain things, Mike. Like I think back to something that a friend of mine that she told me in high school, and she was like, Coop, a real man resolves his differences with his words and with his hands. And so when I see the manner in which this happened, I think that's the part that really like strikes a nerve too, kind of in the same manner that it did with Nip. It's like, dude was probably going to get cookies for his kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, well, if you got a problem like that and he's putting himself in a circumstance like that, it's like, I mean, Mike, you know me, if I got a problem with somebody, like, and I see them, like, I'm going to say something to them. Like, I'm not going, you know what I mean?
But
And
like
so
you
I guess,
said, as adults, and not to cut you off or anything, but as adults and as grown men, should be able to settle your differences in a whole nother way. And if you just don't rock with somebody, stay away from them. You know what I'm saying? Like coming to get
I mean,
somebody, that's something different. You know?
yeah, and and it's like you were saying, and I know I was like offline for a minute, but when I jumped back in, you were speaking to like just speculation, and that's one of the unfortunate things about when something like this happens is because of the bravado and because of the things that you speak of and the portrayal and this, that, and the third. Just the speculation of it just, rages such a fire. And, the media has to be careful as to not to contribute to fanning those flames, because
Right.
in this community, we've been guilty of that as well. So it's like we have to be mindful of like two wrongs don't make anything right. And so the media needs to be mindful of all the speculative things being said right now until there's some clarity,
Right.
and really need to be mindful of the fact of like, let's focus on Dolph and the fact that, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, did he own all his publishing? If I'm not mistaken, he owned most of, if not all his publishing.
Well, I don't know anything about that, because again, it's even with
I'm
him
pretty
and Soldier
certain.
Boy, that whole back and forth with them was based on some silly stuff where Soldier was saying that he was an independent artist, or or Dolph said he was an independent artist, and Soldier Boy said no, you signed to Empire Records and this and that, and
I
Empire is
mean,
distributed through Universal. So I mean, regardless, these are people providing for their families.
that doesn't necessarily mean that he doesn't own his publishing, though.
Yeah. The publishing conversation's always murky. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
people will say,
Right.
because
That's what I'm saying. That's actually kind
even
of like a
recent,
separate thing.
yeah, even recently where Ashanti was out there saying that she owns her
When we
masters
record.
and has to re-record, and it's like, no, that's not really what it is. But it's yeah, you own the re-recordings of it, or you're able to re-record your original recordings after a certain duration, but the ones that you own, excuse me, are the new versions of your re-recorded originals. But yeah, again,
Right.
all that stuff gets murky. So I don't know what Dolph owned in that way, but I heard he, again, internet stuff, and nothing's verifiable. But I heard he owned like 100 properties out there in Memphis. But regardless, I agree with what you're saying. Like, we just have to watch ourselves, and the fact that people get so excited about music, like songs like 100 Shots and stuff like that, that the vibrato starts to spill over into other people who might not have anything to do with anything, but their names get brought up. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, let's sit there and let the situation materialize before we speak on those things. But one thing is, I mean, even with the Breakfast Club interview that Soulja Boy did a week or so ago, it's like, when people get all riled up and going at folks and stuff, we're entertained by it, but it needs to be simmered down in a way that nobody is put in a bad situation, or it doesn't incite other people who have nothing to do with anything to want to interact in that way. You know what I mean?
No. I totally get you.
Shout out to Miss Amelia. She sent us a super chat for €4 and 49 cents. She said, "That's the best. This is the best hip hop podcast show. Keep up the great work. Will your yearbook include a dedication to those who passed?" Definitely. We did that in the previous yearbook, the 2020 yearbook. Y'all can go check that out on Amazon. But yes, we'll definitely do a dedication to the people we lost in 2021. Go ahead, Coop. I'm sorry. You were about to say something.
No. I mean, I just think about like all the things that can be done to prevent situations like this when situations like this occur. So it's just sad to me overall.
Yeah.
I don't have too many words about it, and I really don't want to say too much because we don't know too much other than what we've seen, and what we've seen has all just been unfortunate and sad, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things though, like we were saying offline, or like I was saying offline. I mean, you learn from history, right? And I think that, again, the media and vibrato and what we do here is very important. And the information that people get, misinformation that people might get, or just the, again, vibrato that is echoed through this thing. I mean, I always think when it comes to Big and how he handled certain things after Tupac was murdered, it was like, I think Big could have moved a little different, and it could have possibly been a different outcome. Just some of the raps that was on Life After Death, the going back to Cali stuff. I mean,
I
not
mean,
everybody is taking that. No, not everybody took that well. You know what I mean?
no, I mean, but that's what I mean is that, like, but when you're being fueled by your team, when you're being fueled by the media,
Mm-hmm.
like the shit literally can get out of your hands to a
Oh yeah.
degree, and people don't understand, like, man, I tell people impartation is like a strong thing. Like, you can be the strongest person in the world, but like when you're around it, when you're living it, when people are telling you that you should live it, when everybody like is bigging you up yeah, it can take a hold. It's
Yeah.
real.
I mean, because I remember being, younger, being a kid, basically, and Tupac would always talk about, man, it's the media, it's the media, it's the media. And looking back on it, I see exactly what he was saying. Like, he was like, look, this is just a problem between me and another person, not a coast and a whole other coast. The media
Right.
fueled that, and they took a lot of his vibrato and, rightfully so, some of his individual anger, and made everybody feel that way, the way it was portrayed. And those are the things that, again, especially since we have a clearer line of communication now with the internet, those are things that we need to prevent from happening. And it was just certain stories that were out there that weren't verified, that whoever is out here spreading that knew it wasn't true is willing to spread this, that could cause more issues. And I think that's not cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's never cool when it goes down like that.
Never. So, but yeah, rest in peace, young Dolph. And
I mean,
it's
and
unfortunate.
this is what I mean about how, and look how quick it turns. Like, Soldier Boy was on, what was it? What was he on,
He
Mike?
was on the Breakfast Club last week.
Was the Breakfast Club last
Yeah.
week? Yeah, and he made some comments,
Yeah.
that were a little unsavory at the time, And I mean, you and I mean, and it's not like, and you rarely get upset about anything, Mike, but you know what I mean? You were kind of yo, like they kind of like egged into that. Like you said it before anything even happened to Dolph, Mike. You
Yeah.
didn't like it. You was like, I don't like how they kind of like played that up. Like it's cool to talk about that, man. You know, like,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So
and you know, Soldier
and
Boy,
now all of
Soldier
a sudden
Boy.
the media wants to respond and Soldier Boy's like off this ticket, and it's like, oh no, literally a week ago it was okay.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
to talk
How
about
problematic
violence,
it get?
and make light of violence and all that stuff is cool in hip hop and in hip hop media and hip hop spaces until something happens for real.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
like literally until something happened next week. You know what I mean? And then it's like, well, no, don't. I mean, because here's the thing about it: it's not like you can try to show like contrition now. Like we know how you really feel about it.
I'll give Charlemagne credit on that Breakfast Club interview. He did say like, "Look, man, we don't need all of that." You know what I'm saying? And Angela Yee did too. I know DJ Envy was the one that asked him like, "Yo, what's your issue with Dolph?" So I guess with Soldier Boy being on their program, they had him on there because Kanye was on Drink Champs, right? So that's why he was on.
Right,
And so they
right.
were just going down the line of everybody he had an issue with and, his rants and all that stuff. And so, when he said his stuff about,
See,
young
but
Doc getting shot and all that, and it was like, okay, I mean, it was like, we don't need that, but it was kind of like, you know, this is what we got you here for, is this kind of energy anyway. You know what I mean?
but this is what I mean about how it gets funny with the media, real quick. Is that okay? So let's look at Soldier Boy right quick and unpack that. He's more known for going on these types of shows and making these wild sentiments, true or untrue, than he is even for his music now, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's the media that has fed in and fueled that character, though, now haven't they?
If he were to get on their program and give a regular interview with none of these hot takes or anything like that,
He
they would
wouldn't
be
even be asked to
disappointed.
do the interview.
Yes.
No, he wouldn't even be asked to do the interview, Mike. He wouldn't even be there. And that's what I'm saying about how the media fuels certain things. So you even have to look at his behavior and his mannerisms and understands how he's fueled by the media to do that because of how they respond in kind and bring them on their shows continually, even though he really hasn't made any notable music in some time.
You know,
And he's a music artist, and
and
it's a
see,
music station.
exactly. Well, you know
The
what?
music
Honestly,
shows.
let's keep it 100. And and I say this respectfully, and I think everybody knows this. The Breakfast Club built their following off of gossip and off of having edgy interviews and things like that. So Soldier Boy is basically the prototype for how they built their following and their fan base in the first place. They've never been a music show, right? They
Don't they
play
mostly
music.
interview musical artists though?
They've
I mean, what do you
interviewed
call them? A
musical
black culture? Are they
artists.
like a culture show? Is it a culture piece?
Yeah, and I guess as the show has gotten older, they've tried to make it evolve into this political commentary too, which is wild. But the root of the Breakfast Club is gossip.
But in the core of the culture piece, like the hip hop community and music though,
It is.
like
It is. So like even artists whose music they're not gonna play or don't even really have music out there like that, they're gonna interview. They don't play not Iggy Azalea Banks music like that, but they know she be saying wild stuff. She turns up, so they have her on the show. You know what I'm saying?
that's what I mean. So the media fuels her to do that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So she spends more time focusing on that personality than on the craft of making music because of the media.
Well, I mean, Charlemagne now, I haven't even seen his talk show, but he's starting to, well, not starting to, he's in the midst of rebranding himself as more of I guess a more of a positive figure. It kind of started with the whole mental health and everything that he jumped on with that, but and he did this beautiful diatribe about what happened to young Dolph and his donkey of the day thing. um, he gave the two people or the people involved in Young Dolph's murder Donkey of the Day. And he said a lot of great things about the community and hurt people hurting people, and all of these things. But it's like at no point in that 8 minute diatribe did he sit there and say, we as journalists, we have a responsibility too. Because honestly, let's keep it real. This is how people actually see these artists when they're on your station. And I don't even want to go to, like, the music's the music, but they do hour and a half interviews with people, and these people say so much stuff. And so, like you said, I mean, there's a responsibility that comes with that. And they had that responsibility really a week ago.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The
Yeah.
responsibility didn't change, but your tone and your behavior did.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I will give him credit. Him and Angela Yee was like, "Yo, we don't need that, whatever, whatever," and they moved on. But
But it's the
still,
but it's the overall so it's the overall spectrum that you create.
exactly, it's
And
the
if you
energy.
look people, yeah, well, I mean, I didn't want to use the term energy, but I guess that would be the quickest way to cut through it, Mike. It's the energy that you create within the spectrum that you created in that media outlet. You know what I mean? That you
Yeah,
take part of in this. Yeah. And I mean, and everybody has a part that they play. Like everybody's not going to be, I guess, for the culture, like people say that we are. Like, so, I mean, there's going to be gossip, Mike. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
and there's
Like,
a
I
market for
get
that
that.
in a healthy way. But
Yeah,
talking
like I
about
get
people
that.
getting shot and stuff is not healthy.
But here's what I'm saying too, like, and we have to be more mindful of it in this sphere, just because it's like, oh, well, you know where a lot of these dudes is coming from. Like, you've been to Memphis before.
Yeah,
You know what Memphis is like. I've been to Memphis a couple times in the last couple years. You know what I'm saying? My nephew's up in Memphis. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And it's like, what type of environment a lot of these black men and women are coming from, and the type of people who are around them. And if we're going to be, in the media spectrum and portraying these guys' lifestyle, we have to be mindful of how we portray it, because of everything that comes with it. And we know what the everything is. And so, yeah, there's a responsibility, because it's not like we don't know.
yeah. And there's a responsibility to act on these things before anything happens. We love diss records. We even talk about the best diss records and all that. But I mean, we were just talking about the Pusha T and Drake last week. That wasn't going to any of those points. It's just like, what MC is better in, what I'm saying, which sphere than the other, or who
Yeah.
came with the better
Yo,
record and all that. But sometimes when it comes to, what I'm saying, certain sectors of hip hop or certain sectors of the subgenre, it ain't even about rap skills at that point. It's about something else. And that's when you don't fan those flames.
hey, Mike, I can't remember who it was. Pusha T did an interview a few years ago, and I think it was either Baby Wayne or Drake, but he was on an elevator with one of them while they were like going to the same event.
I think he
He
said it
was
was
like, no, we were,
Birdman, I believe. Yeah.
I think it was Baby. I wanted to say it was
Yeah.
Baby. He was like, yeah, we were just on the elevator together. They were like, what? He was like, yeah. He was like, don't be believing this, like, this circus shit that you see, pretty much. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
But see, that's the thing, though, Coop. What do people think this is? You know what I'm saying? Like, people look at this stuff from their lens like it's a movie or something. Like you're watching Power or something. You know what I mean? And it's not. You know what I'm saying? These are real life people doing real jobs. They go to the studio, they perform, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what people think this is. Like, you think that when another
I mean,
grown man, these guys are like literally in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. You think that when they see these people in public, they're just gonna start swinging on them or something? What do you think's gonna happen? Like, you think a big shootout's gonna happen or something?
so here's the thing about it, and that's what I mean is that, like, I think some people think it's like, you understand, these guys are living a lot of the time like the way that you live, just more financially well off in terms of day-to-day things that they have to do sometimes. It's like, that's what I mean is like sad about the Dolph situation. It's like, Mike, I got a kid. You know how many times I done ran out to grab my kid like something sweet right quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, hey, you want to go run and get some ice cream? Like, Mike, the first thing that I thought when they was like he was going to get some cookies, I'm thinking, thank God his kids didn't go with him.
No, for real, for real. Yeah,
For real, for real.
that's sad, man. But you know what? What would I think my favorite Dolph song might have been preached, but I'm biased to that whole "I'm the Man" kind of remake that he did. Get Paid was my shit too.
He's done a lot of stuff, and he meant something to a generation that was younger than us,
He was the
too.
next
You know what I
generation
mean?
of Memphis, and you know I fuck with Memphis rappers like all day.
Of
Like,
course you do.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I already know how you feel about
yeah.
Memphis rappers
But yeah,
and
so he was kind
producers.
of like that next wave of it,
He
and
was the next wave of it.
yeah,
I think he was the one. I think he was the one up from the next generation of crop of rap artists that came out of Memphis that stood out the most. Definitely,
right. Because
wouldn't you say that's pretty?
3-6 is so, I guess they're kind of like the outcasts of that city. Not outcasts in that sense,
Definitely,
but like outcasts is to Atlanta. But
yeah,
Memphis still got
definitely.
Skinny Pimp. Memphis still got Playa Fly. And I'm going way back with this, but even in like, current
Play a fly,
generation,
Mike.
yeah,
Ooh,
Playa Fly is a legend. But yeah, it's just so much that Memphis has, and each generation they were kind of able to take that Memphis thing and do their own thing with it. But yeah, I think he was a big part of a whole nother wave of that. Because I think Yo Gotti kind of is that middle piece, right? Like he's that middle piece
he's the
after three.
connecting. Yeah,
Yeah, he's that connecting. Yeah,
he's the transitional guy after
yeah,
3-6, and then like Dolph is the next guy, but Gotti kind of made himself into his own thing too, where it's like he's Memphis, but he kind
yeah.
of put himself all over the map in a really like a
In
good
a Rick
way.
Ross-ish
Like
kind of way, like Rick Ross did with
yeah,
Miami.
he spread himself around more so I think than any other Memphis rapper that came before him, and kind of showed the next generation how to navigate the waters, but kind of keep the sound alive. You know?
Definitely, man. Speaking of performers and just hip hop being a job, I saw a statement that Chuck D put out today. He actually posted that early this morning. And he was speaking in defense of Travis Scott and the fact
Mm-hmm.
that Travis Scott's getting like all the blame for this Astro World Fest. Let me go to what he had to say real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So Chuck D posted on his Instagram. He said, "I cannot believe we're at this point where I gotta say this out loud. Travis Scott is a performer, an act, not a concert promoter. He doesn't run the sound or the venue or the festival or their staff. He doesn't build the stage or coordinate logistics. He's not an expert in crowd control or security or emergency medical services, but he does trust Live Nation and all the other concert promoters who are supposed to do all of this. And yet here we are, 10 deaths and counting, 10 broken families. The world is mourning. I'm sorry, I'm tired of these corporations shucking their most crucial responsibilities. These folks simply say rest in peace and move on. This negligence can't continue. Folks want answers. I'm not buying the young black man did it. He's being blamed for a crime while the old white men run up the corpse that Travis and his fans trusted with their lives, stay quiet in the shadows, counting their money and watching their stock prices go up and up. The excuse of Travis's irresponsible actions don't wash. If this act had a history of that, I'm sorry, if this act had a history of that behavior, why promote him in these bigger venues? Why partner with him in the first place? And let him headline bigger audiences. Live Nation controls the show. They control almost all of the concert venues. Artists ain't speaking out because these same cats already bought by these corporations. No one can say a word against them unless they want to be blacklisted and hurt their careers. So I'm calling out Michael Rapinoe's entire team at Live Nation and the consortium of all the major concert promoters out there to do the right thing, to step up and step out of the shadows and fix this situation and save lives. To stop letting the young black man take the blame, the hate, the fall. We don't know everything that happened or exactly what failed, but concert promoters have a power to make the changes to keep everyone safe and alive. Live Nation, your stock is up. The white corporate music business keeps cashing in on black pain, trauma, and death. This has to stop yesterday. You're a part of the problem. Grow the fuck up, fix this, and let us all live in peace. It's a lot to unpack there.
Woo!
He said a lot, and a lot of good things. And it's interesting, man. A lot of people don't even They weren't agreeing with the statement. I don't know if people just didn't read it or what, but when you see too many words on an internet post, people just don't read
I
it.
mean, intelligence is very problematic, Mike. You know that, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
They don't read. All right, this is what I got to say about it, man. I
Go ahead.
agree. Go ahead.
No, no, no. Go ahead. No, I was telling you. Go ahead, please. I want to hear your thoughts.
It really stood out to me when he was talking about corporations capitalizing off of black trauma, pain, and death, and all of that. I think that could go to all sectors of the music, and I think we've always felt like that about the actual recordings. But the fact that we're seeing this happen in live performances now, I think is wild. I think it's wild that, and we're gonna get to this later, because of this Astro Fest, Drake was able to pull a record that he had with French Montana. Like, this is a trickling down effect. Like, you're
Hmm.
getting to the point where you could just pull people off of concerts. Like, Soldier Boy just got pulled off of the Millennium Tour because Young Dolph's shooting. And it's one of those things where I was listening to another podcast where they were breaking down all the logistics of the trickle down effect that this Astro Fest situation could have, like on an insurance
Hmm.
level with hip hop concerts.
Ooh.
The lawsuits
Yes.
that are coming down the
Yes.
line when it comes to Travis being sued. Now, is this going to put him in a financial situation where the label comes back and says, you know what, we got a new deal for you, tie you in again? You know what I mean? Kind of like refinancing your home, where it's like, okay, you want us to take care of these lawsuits? Sign your name on the dotted line type thing. This is a whole nother level of control to the point where we're seeing in the media that one individual could be blamed for all of this. When
Right.
one individual there was nothing that Travis could have done in that situation. First of all, he trusts the venue and the promoters and the security and all that staff to cut his mic or whatever if things get to a certain point. And even if he doesn't have that quote unquote, presence of mind, that's what should happen, right? He can't just stop the show and not really know the particulars, right? So the fact that, A, you have promoters who aren't going to take the brunt of this, right? Because
Hmm.
Live Nation owns most of the venues that do large concerts in that space. They not only own the booking agency, but they actually own the venues themselves. So they're going to be fine. But the fact that one individual can sit here and take the brunt of this and have to possibly rework his whole finances. It's gonna have to rework his whole recording contract and all of that is wild because these are things that he couldn't control. And these are things that they actually could control. And I don't want to get on no conspiracy theorist type of, rant or anything, but who's to say that if you have a company that can control all of those elements, who's to say that someone isn't sent out there to wreak havoc to do something that's beneficial in their way? You can't
It
track
leads.
that.
No, no, Mike. It lends itself and leads itself to a lot of doors being open on a lot of levels. One of the things that you said that struck with me, and I want to also say something too. Some of those thoughts, a good portion of those thoughts that Chuck D elocuted so well, you actually said on this show when these things happen, as far as like Live Nation and the promoters and sound and stage, and the other people potentially responsible. Mike, the insurance here is what's problematic for
Hmm.
potential hip hop artists and venues moving forward because this gives them a reason to tax us. And they're always looking for a reason to tax us.
Yes.
And so there's money right there in that because there always is inherently, because it always costs more to insure a rap show anyway,
Yep.
like has is inherently. So this is one of those things that makes the sticker tag go up, Mike. And it's getting so big without he's being the focal point of being ostracized
Hmm.
that it's like somebody big need to step in. Like I was like Ye need to step in. Like Jay need to step in. Like somebody need to step in and like You
What?
know,
Hold on, let me stop you there. What is Jay-Z gonna say to Live Nation? They distribute Rock Nation.
that's why you need to say something.
What can he say?
I mean, he obviously has relationships though. That's what I'm saying.
I feel you, but I mean, I'm just not holding my breath on Jay going out there and talking down on Live Nation publicly. Because I mean, again, what Chuck D said, it's like so many people's careers are in the hands of this company, so they're not going to say anything. They're, unfortunately, really sitting here letting Travis take this publicly by himself. When you spoke to the insurance thing, it's an interesting thing too because they already tax on insurance, and you can't like we couldn't even do like let's just say we're doing an event at a big space where it's going to be 100 people or whatever. They make you get security, they make you get insurance on the venue, right? So you're not going to be able to hold anything without insurance, and when that with that insurance, they could charge you whatever they want. But based on these things, they could sit here and tell Travis, like, look, this is what we're going to pay you a show because now we got to get 5 times the security. We got to get this. We got to pay for this. They could just make up stuff at this point. And I hate to say it, but Travis
So,
just kind
Mike,
of got to take what he can get when it comes to performing again.
right. So let me tell you something personally that happened to me, and that's why I spoke to the insurance because I know how that game gets played, Mike. I used to be the event manager in Atlanta of one of the premier event spots in Atlanta, actually, Mike. And one of Atlanta's biggest party promoters I had a relationship with, and he wanted to do one of his events in in the space that I managed. And I went to my bosses
Mm-hmm.
and I asked them, about this. I mean, and you're talking about for years, this is a guy that I'm talking about has made, hundreds of thousands of dollars for people. Like, I'm not going to say who he is, but like, he
Right.
done bailed famous rappers down here out of jail, and put them on stage like the same night. You feel what I'm saying? Like, this is a guy whose rep is pretty strong. And now I know that our insurance policies usually for our events were usually for $10,000 to $20,000. I went to my bosses, and just because it was a black crowd, keep in mind there were no even rappers involved. It was just him having an event, which was known for having mostly a black crowd that was going to be 21 to 40. Said they needed $100,000 insurance policy.
It's wild, man.
That's what my
And the
bosses
crazy
told me.
part about this, though, Coop, the demographics of the actual victims
Shit crazy.
ain't even you know what I'm saying? Like, I could see this was a diverse show if we want to sit here and talk about, ethnic backgrounds. Like, Travis' show was a diverse show. It wasn't just 50,000 black people out there. You know what I mean?
I'm just letting you know how the game go, Mike.
Oh,
And I
definitely.
just I've seen it live myself. The price literally got marked up 80 grand because it was us. It wasn't even no famous rapper coming. And one of the bosses literally bought up a time where another rapper was in the same space and smoked some weed. And I was like, what does that have to do with like me and this guy bringing this money? Because you have to understand, he was coming in during slow season. I'm like, you understand that him doing this event, like him doing that event X amount of times in that space was a six-figure payoff for us.
They're basically telling you, look, man, we do what we want to do.
And we don't
Um,
want your black ass in here. All right.
I was actually gonna do a documentary back in the day. It was a venue in Atlanta, and I went to this venue on a night where they had more, Caucasian patrons, right? Because I went to a friend's birthday party. She had a party there, and I just knew that this, venue from a previous experience, because I went on a night where it was, mostly us, was a certain way. The door was different. Like, they weren't tripping. Like, I was like, yo, I don't have any cash on me. That's like, don't worry about it. Just go in, right? That was different. Get to the bar. The drinks are a whole different price. Same venue, same spot. Parking was half the price it was when we were out there. And, it was like I wanted to, back in the day, I was like, man, I want to do like a piece on this where it's like I go one night and people could actually see what it was like that one night. And then when the black people were in the venue, I could actually show people what it's like on that night. But yeah, it's real. And you're talking about on the
Yeah.
back end. I'm talking about like
Yeah.
on the consumer end, even that's different. But again, all those things are a sliding scale. They affect each other. If If you have that person that's saying they need $100,000 on, some insurance, then the promoter is gonna have to hit us over the head because it's like, look, man, it just costs more for us to be in the building.
No, and here's what's crazy about it. He was like, I got that. Let's make it happen. He had that.
He's
He
used
already knew
to
how the
it.
game was played. Like I
Yeah.
told you, like Mike, I used to bartend those parties for him. Like I know how big he was. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there are DJs on the radio that got their start at his parties. You feel what I'm saying?
That don't
Like
make
this
it
dude
right
had the
though.
cachet and the cash and all that. They just didn't want us there, and they were just looking for a reason to drive up the sticker. They was just like, no, we don't want you here, so we gonna make you pay. So let's take that on a bigger scale. I'm talking about $100,000 policy to do a party in Atlanta that probably ain't gonna get more than 500 to 700 people at any point in time with it. You talking about Travis Scott?
Right. Yeah. He's gonna get hit over the head. And what's gonna
We're gonna
happen?
need $2.5 million just to do the event
And you know who's gonna say
in
that
insurance.
but you know who's gonna say that they got that? Live Nation or the label or whoever, and they're gonna be like, look, Travis, for us to be able to do this, we're gonna need you to sign
Right,
this.
and now we going and look. So now you're going from behind one door to behind the other door with the artist trapped in the middle. This is how the game get played.
It's really, really vicious. And that's why he's taking the brunt of this. That's why he's the face of this. Let me put it that way. Because in most of the
He's taking the
articles,
brunt of it. You
yeah,
said it right.
yeah. Because publicly, they want it to be known that, okay, well, this is why we're doing this. This is why this happened to him. And I saw a representative of his. She was the former mayor of Baltimore. Her name slips me. But she was talking to Gayle King on Good Morning America. She's his spokesperson, Travis Scott's spokesperson, excuse me. And she was saying things like, Travis is taking full responsibility for this and blah, blah, blah. What? How is he taking full responsibility for this? He's not responsible for this.
It's
Don't say
very
that.
problematic.
Don't say that about me. Like somebody said in the chat. It's like that's like Mike Tyson taking the blame for killing somebody in the ring. It's worse than that. It's like if somebody in the Mike Tyson fight got trampled and Mike Tyson's in the ring fighting and he takes the blame for somebody getting killed out there in the audience watching him fight.
Mike, it wouldn't be surprise me if they tried to do that to Mike Tyson, though, Mike. That
It's
wouldn't surprise me.
insane. It
Like
is.
Mike, I mean, when people okay, so Mike, when we say it's insane, it's like, well, we have over 400 years worth of insanity to look at to say that anything is possible now, don't we?
Oh,
Okay.
definitely. No, it's insane that people fall into this, I don't want to say trap, but just fall into the dialogue of like, yeah, it's his fault. Like, whoa, wait a minute. Let's look at the
It
bigger
happened
picture
fast.
here.
It happened fast.
It's like, come on, man. Like, really. If
That's why
I
I was like, I told you, Mike, you need to lawyer up and lay low and let this play out.
But when you got lawyers like Benjamin Crump out there working against you, that's even more disappointing. Benjamin Crump's
No,
handling
no.
like 100-something cases on this. Like, come on, man.
No. There are people out there for that ass, and he needs to go acquire them
Yeah, man.
expeditiously.
Well, I mean, again, he comes for, well, I don't want to say comes from, but his child's mother is big in that field, or she comes from a family that's big in that field. So hopefully they work
Oh,
out
this can
something.
get this can get bankroll, and he got plugs. Yeah,
But again, man, this is all
time to use those
spiraled out of
resources.
control. You got so many people in the mix now.
See, here's what I'm saying though. Is like at this point, it's like you gotta. It's almost like you got to be on some day by day with it though, Mike. Like you got to fight this battle like day by day. You can't keep on looking at it from the perspective of, oh well, I don't deserve this. That's not helping you today.
At this point, man, I feel like, and this is just
That ain't
my
helping you
opinion, and
today.
I get it, he's big, but he got to speak for himself, man. And I think that a lot of these entertainers get to a point
Uh-huh.
where they feel like they need representation on every level. Like, no, man,
No,
you need to
Mike.
start speaking for
No, no,
yourself,
no,
man,
no, no,
because
no,
these
Mike.
people
Mike,
have you
on
messed up.
this level, Mike, on this level, I do not agree.
You
He
don't?
needs representation. He needs representation, and he needs to call a press conference where his attorney is going to issue a statement with him standing behind them, where the media is notified that if they have any further questions concerning this matter, can address them to his attorney, the lead attorney on the case.
This is the problem with
And
that,
then
though.
he needs
And
to
I
go
think
lay low for the next 365 days.
that in a regular situation, I think that's what you should do. Let your representation speak for you if you're an individual entity. But when it comes to this entertainment thing, and I was talking to an artist who was telling me basically how it works. These entertainment attorneys work for the labels. They're not working for you. They're going to do whatever's in the best interest of the label because the artists come and go. They want relationships with these corporations. They want relationships with the labels. So they could be out here doing you greasy because you're expendable. You're an artist.
That's already going on, Mike.
That's what I'm saying. So at this point, man, I say save yourself or get some. But again, the thing is, if you go out there and get an
The best
attorney
thing
or
that he
some
can do to no, Mike, I want him to save himself too. And the best thing that he can do to save himself, to make sure that nothing that he says himself gets misconstrued or taken any sort of way out of context, is to lawyer the fuck up.
I feel you, but how do you
All
know
the
at
way.
that point that these people have your best
Talk
interests
to my
at heart?
third attorney. My first two attorneys are in litigation right now. You can talk to the third attorney on the team today.
But how do you know in those situations that they got your best interests at heart? That's the thing. Because they
You
work
don't,
for the
Mike. I
labels.
told you he's in a bad spot. He's
Oh, okay.
behind the back door and behind the scenes of a lot of places that nobody in his position. Like you want, your goal as an artist is to sit in the rooms and behind the scenes of places as little as possible of the places that he's about to be sitting for the next X amount of time, Mike.
I hate that, man, because again, man, I rock with Travis's music, and he put out 2 dope songs. Like, what was it? Right before this happened, it was like 2 weeks ago, and I don't think we're gonna get any new Travis music anytime soon, and that's unfortunate. This whole thing is gonna unfold, but yeah, shout out to Chuck D for actually speaking up from an artist's perspective and somebody who's been a hip hop performer for over 30 years. I think he's the best person to speak on it. They've done some of the biggest shows. You know what I'm saying? They've had some rowdy crowds.
But the issue is out of hand, Mike.
Yeah.
And when the issue isn't going away, the focal point sometimes needs to. That's what's best for the focal point oftentimes. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's what
the
Drake's
issue's
doing.
not going away. It's not going away.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? Since we got all the people in the room right now, we got like 63 people in the room and counting. Let's go ahead and start this Verzuz up, man. What do you say?
Yeah. We can do that.
All right. Well, yeah, by request, man, we're going to do this Outkast and Mobb Deep mock versus. I picked 20 Outkast records. Coop picked 20 Mobb Deep records. I think this worked out well, man, because these, first of all, they're duos, right? And I think that they're flagship duos from their respected regions. And they came out around a similar time. I know people don't really look at Outkast as like a kid group, or like they were like kids pretty much when they dropped. Same thing with, that's what I'm saying. Same thing with Mobb Deep, Juvenile Hell. I know you probably ain't got no Juvenile Hell on your list, but yeah, these guys are young.
Yeah, I want to beat you. I'm not gonna beat you with Juvenile Hell songs.
No. You know, they tried their best on that. They really came to life with the Infamous. But yes, I think this is a really good matchup because these two groups are a lot more similar than people might think. I know that,
especially in terms of what they mean to their region, Mike.
Yeah, and how early they got started too. You know what I'm saying? And how high praise that half of the group gets as an individual and things like that. You know.
Right, and they're both pretty much fresh out of high school when they.
Straight up. You know that one picture of Andre Big Boy and Mr. DJ for Southern Playalistic, man, like they look like kids where Dre got the braids and the Braves jersey. Kids. All right, well, let's do this.
They are kids.
Yeah. Yo, so we got somebody in here said Juvenile Hell is great. Okay, let's do this.
It's solid. It's just okay. It's just okay, fam. It's just okay. Hit it from the back, and like the first shook ones are like the highlights. The rest of it's just some mid, dude. Like, yeah.
Well, I haven't seen Coop's list for real. I just copied and pasted and put it into
Yeah, I'm just
the
looking at yours for
viewpoint
the
so
first
you can
time.
see it. And we're about to go track for track. We're probably gonna need y'all help on some of these songs. Let's just get into it, man.
Yes, the first one. We need your help on the first one.
Okay, so on the first round we got Coop picking Mobb Deep's the infamous Mobb Deep. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
That's just
that's just
yeah.
the title. I got you. I shouldn't have
It's,
included that. All right, Survival of the Fittest and Players Ball. I got Players Ball on that.
I got Survival of the Fittest, Mike, and I love Players Ball. I think Survival of the Fittest is a better record.
What y'all got in there, man? Y'all got Survival of the Fittest or Players Ball? We're gonna call that a wash for right now. I'm gonna wait till people, you know what I'm saying, get in there. But you know what? No. Let's talk through this real quick.
Yeah, hold on. I think, first of all, I think both of these songs are epic lead-off singles to epic albums. So they have that in common. I just think that Survival of the Fittest is more of a legendary East Coast hip-hop classic song than Players Ball is a Southern hip-hop classic song. Both of these songs are instant classic songs.
I'm seeing a lot of Survival. I'm seeing a lot of Survival.
Well, here's why, Mike, because Prodigy's verse is memorable on there. And that's what I mean about this verse is why I didn't mind picking Mobb is because, I get to go through Prodigy's memorable shit. That's tough to beat. This is one of those moments.
Man, it looks like Survival of the Fittest won this.
Mike, the way he starts off, there's a war going on outside. No man is safe from. You can run, but you can't hide from ever. From these streets that we done took. You walking with your head down, scared to look. You shook. Cause ain't no such things as halfway crooks. They never around when the beef cooks. Is my part of town. It's similar to Vietnam. You know, like that's classic, Mike. That's classic. Every hip hop head knows that.
Well, looks like Survival of the Fittest won that. You know what? My actual plea for Players Ball is I feel like it was just a great introduction, great first single. It kind of got you right into Southern Playalistic and what that was. I think the hook's incredible. I think musically, it's somewhere else.
No, Mike, both of these songs did the same things for their respective classic albums because, like, Survival of the Fittest is the perfect tone for the infamous, same way Players Ball is a perfect tone for Southern Playalistic. I just think Survival of the Fittest is a more classic record. We're just arguing between classic records and classic lead-off singles off classic albums.
Well, you know what? It looks like the people agree with you.
It is. Survival of the Fittest is whew.
So Survival of the Fittest wins that one.
And, Mike, it's been sampled a whole lot, Mike. People have sampled stuff from Survival of the Fittest, you know?
Oh, this next one's hard, too, man. It's hard for me.
Yeah.
The Learning, Burn versus So Fresh, So Clean. I got, I have to take I'm trying to take my bias out of this, man, because I love Burn, though. I love Burn.
You want to know what's crazy, Mike? Is that, like, Havoc showed out on The Learning. That's one of Havoc's best moments to me.
I mean, Noid, you know what I'm saying?
Noid's crazy on there. Noid's the highlight of the song.
No, I think Vita's the highlight of the song.
I mean, she just brought the energy to the hook, Mike, but it's like, yeah, when Noid's like, you don't think I live a pop life now, because, hey,
you can get pop right now. Me don't play. I keep a gun around my way. I'm a fucking drama king like my nigga K Slay. All right, so this one seems to be leaning more towards So Fresh, So Clean. What y'all got? Burn or So Fresh, So Clean?
Mike, I actually think that's probably So Fresh, So Clean, too.
You know,
as much as I love Burn,
I have a lot to say about So Fresh, So Clean, man. Like, I feel like that's the last great Outkast song. Is that fair to say?
Classic, like single? Yes. Not great. It's classic single, yes. It's their last classic single together.
What's the last great Outkast single then?
No, that's it. Yeah. As far as like classic stuff, with them, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Mm-hmm. So we won one right now. I'm getting nervous, man. Hell on Earth and ATLians. I got Hell on Earth on that one, man.
Me too. Mike, I told you, like, Mobb Deep's 2030 best songs are as good as anybody's 2030 best songs. Anybody's.
Okay, I think that's an easy one. I mean, we could ask
Yeah,
the people in the room because I do want to keep you guys engagement up. Make sure y'all, tell a friend to join this chat because this is actually getting really, really good. Um,
Mike, this is another one of those records that's classic by Mobb Deep that's been sampled a lot, most notably by Pete Rock on Rock M's The Saga Begins. The Saga Begins. Begin war. I draw first blood, be the first to set it off. Macaws, tap all jaws, lay down laws. That's hell on earth. That's what I mean. This is classic shit.
Hell on Earth is classic. Yeah, people are saying Hell on Earth in a
That beat is
landslide.
crazy. Mike, that
Are
beat
y'all
is
really
crazy.
telling me that Morris Brown is the last great Outkast song? That's a big boy record. So is The Way You Move. I'm talking
That's a big
about
boy
with both
record.
of those guys. The
Talking
Whole
about
World.
Outkast. Talking about Outkast.
I never loved The Whole World, bro. I don't even think I included it on here actually. Did I? Yeah, I left that off. I never liked The Whole World.
I wasn't big on it, Mike. It was cool. It was one of those things. It's like, okay, y'all are making music for everybody now, and that's okay too.
People saying Hollywood Divorce is the last classic Outkast song. Wasn't a big fan of Hollywood Divorce either, but hey,
Hollywood Divorce is pretty dope, but don't
it ain't so
consider it
fresh,
to
so
be great.
clean. Nah.
It's not. Yeah, it's not great or classic. It's a really dope record though. The
Yeah,
Hollywood Divorce is really dope.
I
It's
think I
not
look
great.
at
It's
it
not classic.
different. I look at it different where it's like a magical Outkast record for me is just those two guys, right? And like two dope boys in the Cadillac and those moments, elevators. Like for me, a great Outkast record doesn't have to feature Snoop Dogg and Lil Wayne, man. Like that's something different.
I feel you.
All right.
No, I feel you.
So we on round 4. So we got it twisted, get up, get out. I think that's easily get up, get out.
It is. Got It Twisted was the weakest song on here. You can have that.
Keep it
Go
thorough,
ahead.
and it's funny, yo. We didn't even see each other's lists. We both went for, I guess, solo spots on this, but keep it thorough.
You went
International
International
Players
Players
Anthem.
Anthem. I
International
hate
Players
you.
Anthem gets that.
What do you say?
I say International Players Anthem. All right, what do y'all say in the chat? Y'all got
I'm
keep it
probably.
thorough or International Players Anthem?
I'm actually probably going to lean towards you on there too, Mike. As much as I love Keep It Thorough, but damn, I thought
I hate to take
I
that
thought I
one
was going to
from you.
surprise you with Keep It Thorough. I wasn't expecting that. That was a nice play by you.
Keep it thorough is great. That beat
I
is
love Keep It
classic.
Thorough.
Yeah, man. And P went
It's classic
in on
rap.
that shit.
Yeah, it's classic rap.
All right, so people are saying keep it thorough, International Players Anthem, keep it thorough easily, keep it thorough, keep it thorough. Damn, never mind, International Players Anthem. Players Anthem, keep it thorough. It's back and forth. International Players Anthem.
Are we washing?
Definitely International Players Anthem. I think International's picking up steam. International, keep it thorough.
Okay.
International by hair. Alchemist. Yeah, I know what that answer is. All right. God
We'll
Part
go
3.
international. That seems like International Players Anthem won that, but it's close. It is
God
close.
Part 3 and Spody Odi Dopalicious. That's Spody.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Ooh.
I love G.O.D. Father Part 3. I do, though.
Live
That's some of P's best
nigga
stuff.
rap. Live nigga rap and Rosa Parks.
That's live nigga rap.
What?
Yeah, live nigga rap's better than Rosa Parks. You know that, Mike. Come
Ah.
on, Mike, you're ahead. Mike, you're ahead. You know that. You know live nigga rap's better than Rosa
Wait a
Parks.
minute. If this was Miss Jackson, I could say okay. But I
I mean,
don't
okay,
know
Mike,
about
so how do
this,
you feel
man.
about Rosa Parks? I think Rosa Parks, along with Miss Jackson, are probably like the singles that I like the least that they've released.
I'm gonna ask the people in the room real quick.
Yeah, I told you we're going to ask the people about a lot of this stuff because it's a lot of classic stuff.
Okay, live nigga rap or Rosa Parks. Now, this is what I got to say about Rosa Parks.
'Cause-
I think that Rosa
'cause-
Parks is probably it's obviously a super commercial single, but I think it's probably their most artistically great and lyrically dense and musically dense first. I mean,
No,
single period. Like even Dre's verse, I think Dre's verse on there is brilliant. Like the approach of it,
No,
the
no,
harmonica
I love
breakdown.
Rosa Parks. That's one of Dre's finest moments to me, actually, as an MC. Like, if we were pulling out his 20 greatest verses, the verse on Rosa Parks would be on there for me. But, I mean, Mike, Live nigga rap, like, and I put that on there because, like even though that's on, it was written. Mike Havoc did the beat, and it's Havoc and Prodigy on there. And Mike, you can't find any other rap album that's not a Nas album that has Havoc and Prodigy rapping on there with a beat by Havoc. And live nigga rap is, Mike. You know
I
what live
love
nigga
live
rap
nigga
is,
rap.
Mike.
You so listen, man. That's
You
hard
know it's
to yeah. All right, let me go to the chat real quick.
yeah. What's the
We got
chat
live
say?
nigga rap, live nigga rap, Rosa Parks, live nigga rap, live nigga rap, live nigga rap. Easily stop it, Rosa Parks,
Right.
live nigga rap. Y'all crazy. I love Rosa Parks. But all right, Rosa Parks easily. Can't go wrong with either. But
Can't
Rosa
go wrong with it.
Parks, they're asking me why I didn't do Return of the Gangster. Rosa Parks is a far better song. Live nigga rap, no doubt. Rosa Parks. Live nigga rap should go against Skewed on the Barbie. Rosa's lyricism, everybody move back to the bus. Live nigga rap. Listen.
Watch? Are we watching?
That can be a wash because they're so different. And I feel you like
They're
if I was
different.
going,
And
I'll put it this way, and I'll be perfectly honest. If I was going in the whip right now, I'm playing live nigga rap first. But if we're
right,
sitting
Mike, you
here,
already know that.
yeah,
It's like, Mike, you want to know
yeah,
what this is? This is like one of those like Randy Moss, Jerry Rice conversations. I always tell people, if you tell me Jerry Rice is the greatest receiver of all time, I'm not going to argue with you, but I'm going to tell you, if we're on a football field and we're picking players and Randy Moss and Jerry Rice are standing right next to each other, you're picking Randy Moss. And that's what live nigga rap is.
but if I'm sitting there and breaking down the songs, it's like, okay, I gotta go with Rosa Parks. But yeah, all right, we'll make that a wash. What
Yeah,
round
that
are
can
we
be a
on?
wash.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Oh, and I want people to
7.
know, me and Mike don't look at each other's lists. So the way the songs fall is just like the way the songs fall. He does his list, I do mine. We literally don't see each other's stuff really till like right before the show, and we make it a point to not really look at each other's list till we like have to do it.
Yeah, because don't nobody want to have any kind of advantages and make it,
Yeah,
unfair. All right, so I
right,
don't think I even scored that. So that's a wash. We'll do, I'll
right.
put the washes up here and whatnot. Okay. Now
You
we
won.
got, where we at? Still Shining and Benz or Beamer. I got
You
Benz
won.
or Beamer on
Yeah,
that.
you won. I love Still Shining. Still Shining is one of Havoc's best beats.
Eye for an eye, elevators. I took out a good one on that one. I'm
Ooh.
going elevators on that.
Mike, I'm going eye for an eye, actually, Mike.
Really?
Mike, I mean, how about this?
Let me ask the
Next,
people, and I want to get to what you got to say about it.
no,
Who
you can
y'all
ask them why
got?
I'm
Eye
saying
for
this.
an eye or elevators?
Mike, eye for an eye
Mm-hmm.
is one of Nas's and Raekwon's best 5 guest verse appearances ever, and it's on the same song. And the beat is crazy. It's classic. It's one of the best posse cuts ever.
I think if we're sitting here breaking down
And
Andre's
Mike,
most notable verses, the elevators verse is the verse.
no, Mike, you might be right, Mike, but it's Mike. I'm telling you, Mike. Like, ooh,
All right, so let me
it
go
could
to
go
the
either
chat.
way.
LP says eye for an eye. Seymour says eye for an eye. Junior says eye for an eye. Shannon says elevators. Terminator, he didn't give an answer. Miss Mo says, why'd y'all do that? But eye for an eye. Eye
We
for an
didn't do
eye. Eye
it.
for an eye. Eye for an eye. I got eye for an eye. Yeah, it looks like eye for an eye got this one.
It is, Mike. That's the first time Nas says Nas Escobar on a song too.
Mm, mm.
Yeah,
Wow, I can't believe elevators got taken like that.
I can't
Okay.
believe Keep It Thorough got taken, Mike. It happened.
So we on round 9, and I want to make sure all the counts are right.
Yeah, it's
So
5-3 Outkast with 1 wash.
5-3 Outcast with 1 wash. Okay, cool. I'm glad you keep me score too, because I think I missed something. All right, so the next one we got Drink the Pain Away and Southern Playalistic. I mean, I'm going Southern Playalistic on that.
I'm gonna give you Southern Playalistic on that too, Mike. I actually thought Southern Playalistic was a better song than Players Ball, and I still do. And I think the staying power of Southern Playalistic is better too.
You know what? I agree with you on that. I think that I
I
think
think it's
that
one of the best second singles ever. I think it's one of the best second singles ever because it could have been and should have been the first single. If
that
you
hook
really
is
like know
beautiful.
how I feel. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
beautiful record.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think the only reason why it wasn't the first single is the fact that Players Ball was just out. You know what I'm saying? It was already
yeah,
out on the
because
Christmas
Players Ball was a
album.
Christmas
Yeah.
song, right?
So like
Southern
Southern
Playalistic to me is
Playalistic
like the
hasn't
real,
been
yeah.
made yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
No, Mike, I still play Mike when it gets hot in Atlanta, like that's one of the first songs I play. I let the sunroof back and I cut Southern Playalistic on and I start, yeah.
such a beautiful record. I really wish I
It
could
is.
have put Crumbling Herb on here. I really wish
You
that
didn't put Crumble and Herb on here?
I
Are
didn't. I
you
thought about
bugging?
it. I'm bugging. I'm bugging. I should. You know
Are
what? I got
you
Miss Jackson on here. I
bugging?
should have put Crumbling Herb on here instead of Miss Jackson.
Yeah, you messed up
Yeah,
majorly.
that's one that I messed up on, and I wish I could have put Funky Ride on here too.
You couldn't do Funky Ride and Spodioti Dopalicious, Mike. Had to
Nah,
pick
I
one.
wanted to put Liberation on here too, but
I was thinking about Liberation, Mike. Liberation would have been a nice way to end.
nah, I wanted to end with Power. Okay, this is the one I was afraid of. Dang, I shot your remix, skewing on the Barbie. Well,
I shot your remix, Mike.
damn, man.
Go ahead and ask the people. Even though you know what time it is, you know what P's verse is on there. That's what I'm saying. P's a monster, man.
What do y'all think? I shot your remix, is skewing on the Barbie. So P's verse is
Conversation with
better
many
than
men.
find the common
Yeah,
denominator, the nigga numerator. Never know who the hater niggas cater to your ego. I'm sorry, like a
Mike.
tower who's the
Once
cousin to
again,
Calico.
Mike,
This in
Mike,
Puerto Rico,
Mike,
back on the street like Chico. The barge, he large and got a lack in the
Mike.
garage.
Mike, once again, we have bars by Prodigy so legendary that a famous MC and producer took them and sampled them and made another classic record. This is the verse where Jay-Z and Primo pulled The Evils from, Mike.
Yeah.
Illuminati with my mind, soul, and my body. Secret society trying to keep their eye on me. But I'ma stay incognito in places they can't find me. Strategically make moves. The G.O.D. is sort of similar but iller than a chess player.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting blown out right now in the chat, man. Everybody's saying I shot you.
Everybody know what time it is.
Okay.
So do you, Mike.
Nightmare Vultures and Two Dope Boys.
I love Nighttime Vultures, but that's probably Two
That's
Dope
Two
Boys.
Dope Boys.
Yeah.
From the bottom of my lungs, a nigga be blowing, spitting the skank, coming up on you from the south. The ATLians ain't changed. Woo! I love how Big Boy came through on that shit. It's one of my favorite beats on that whole album. What a great sample,
Mike,
too, by the way.
Mike, I'm so mad at you about this next one. I just looked at it because I just knew I was about to win this record.
Give up the goods and the Kumanai. Yeah, that's a Kumanai.
Don't say it like it's that easy.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
Don't say that like it's easy.
Q-Tip's my man,
That's
you know what I'm
easy.
saying? That was a great beat
like
by
it's easy.
Q-Tip. Great beat by Q-Tip, but, you know.
Mike, that's a great song. That's another classic hip-hop record.
It is. It's a great record. I love that sample. They killed that track because, what was that? Pink Cookies in the Plastic Bag. That was first, right? But, yeah, they came back and, yeah, that shit's hard. Give Up the Goods is great. But Aquemini is the title track to one of the greatest hip-hop albums ever. And
No. I think Aquemini is one of Outkast's 5 best songs, probably. So
people are picking Give Up the Goods in the chat, though.
That's not surprising to me, Mike, because it's more of a hip hop based song. That's what I'm saying. Like with Mobb Deep, you're getting a lot of classic hip hop stuff. That's what the heads gravitate towards. And Mike, I'm going to tell you this, Mike.
You
more likely,
yeah.
And you probably more likely to jump in the ride and put on Give Up the Goods than Aquemini too, Mike.
You
hey,
might
yo,
be
Queens
right.
get the
Noy
money, no time, no
that
cash.
shit.
I'm caught up in the hustle with the guns go blast. The fool retaliated, so I had to think fast. Pull out his heat first, he pulled out his heat last. Now who the fuck you think is living till this day? Trying to tell these young niggas crime don't pay. They look at me and say, Queens niggas don't play. Do your thing, I do mine, stay out of my way. It's like hard trying to survive in New York State, but can't stop till I'm eating off a platinum plate. Po come around and try to relocate me, lock me up forever, but they can't deflate me because having cash is highly addictive, especially when you're used to having money to live with.
All right, hold on, cool. It looks like we got outvoted. I mean, because it's, everybody in the chat saying,
oh, did we get outvoted? I'm glad we might have got outvoted by something. I told you that's classic.
So, yeah, we got to be fair. We got to be fair. People pick Give Up the Goods, so.
Yeah, according to Hip Hop's for the People. So it's 7-5 with a wash.
Yeah, 7-5 with a wash right now. Yeah, Akumanai got
Mike,
beat.
You're in a little bit of trouble, Mike, because my ending is super strong. You're in a little bit of trouble. Telling you you're in trouble.
Drop a gem on them in Dirty South.
Whoa. I'm gonna let the people decide again. I told you we was gonna ask the people about a lot of this stuff because I knew this was gonna happen.
Reggie said Coop trying to get a record deal.
No. I got offered a couple of those once.
All right, let me ask y'all in the room, man. Is it gonna be drop a gem on them or Dirty South? Damn, that's rough, man.
I don't really, Mike. To be honest with you, I don't know how to feel about that. I told you, Mike. I think "Drop a Gem on Him" is like probably the most underrated diss record ever, and it's the only guys that actually made a diss record about Pac, and it was actually a great record, and they put it on their album. And Mike, it was kind of the start of putting diss records at the start of your album because it's the second track on Hell on Earth.
You know, people are picking "Drop a Gem on Him."
I mean, I'm gonna roll with whatever the people say on this because I love both of those records. But "Drop a Gem" is pretty special. Mike, that's one of Havoc's best verses too.
Yeah.
Like Havoc Match P on there.
Yeah, people are saying "Drop a Gem on him." Dang.
I told you you're in trouble.
Leo Manning said "Drop a Gem on him." Come on, Mike. Let's not act like it ain't close, man. Dirty South is very impactful, man. But
no, Dirty South. I mean, the song "Dirty South" coined the whole phraseology down here. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean,
a whole
it wasn't called the Dirty South before that record. Yeah, a whole subgenre got created from that record. But I mean, just record for record, you know, you could go either way. That's why I said we'll lean on the people.
All right, we'll lean on the people. So we're looking at 7-6 Outkast right now with a wash. Damn, man. Streets Raised Me and Miss Jackson. Miss Jackson is Miss Jackson, though. Do we have the, because I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. You're missing a song, Coop.
I'm missing a song?
Yeah. Because I think I counted the infamous Mobb Deep because it looked like you got like 19 here because you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Let's go to my original list because I had to edit some songs. I had to cut some songs out, Mike.
19. Yeah, you got 19 songs.
Mike, that's fine. That's fine. Can slide plenty of songs in. You got shit to choose from.
Where you gonna slide? Are you gonna slide it at the end or where you gonna put it?
I mean, Mike, no. We can, hold on. What do I have on the list?
You have to put it next then. Let's just put it next so it's fair.
Oh, that's fine. The Realist with Cool G Rap.
All right, The Realist with Cool G Rap. And that's going to go against gangster shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let me go to the people. What y'all think when it comes to Streets Raised Me versus Miss Jackson? All right. Yeah, Terminator says Miss Jackson. We got Streets Raised Me, Miss Jackson, Miss Jackson, Miss Jackson.
Fascinating.
Yeah, Miss Jackson.
I think Miss Jackson's probably going to win that.
Yeah. Miss Jackson ruled summer 2001, someone says. All right.
Almost to a fault.
Yeah. Okay. Miss Jackson gets that one. And so what did you say was the one you were putting in there with Cool G Rap?
I'm going to put The Realist in.
The Realist. Okay.
I was picking between I'm Going Out and The Realist, but I think I like The Realist more. It's more of a Mobb Deep record.
All right. I wish I could just write it in here so people who are seeing the rebroadcast can see it, but Coop is actually putting in The Realist with Cool G Rap in the next spot because he has 19 songs. So, is it going to be The Realist?
That's my bad.
No, it's all good. Is it going to be The Realist featuring Cool G Rap or Gangsta Shit? What you got on that one?
Mike, low key, I love Gangsta Shit. That's actually one of my favorite Outkast records. I love Big Boy's delivery and how he sets that record off.
It's funny you say that. Everybody always talks about Dre on there. I think Big Boy got the best verse on there.
It's Big Boy because Big Boy came with the lyrics and the delivery and he set it off. He kind of set a tone too.
Yeah, you know? UTKASTOMPGOODIE. So first, yeah, he was just Big Boy's flow on Stankonia was crazy.
That's what I mean. Like his flow pattern and delivery on there, like on top of the lyrics, it's like no, he was the one that was crazy on there.
Yeah,
it's just Andre's a scene stealer. It's just like like is David Ruffin a better singer than Eddie Kendricks? It's like I don't know, but I mean, damn, she'll taking the mic live in front of him though. You know what I'm saying?
Outkast with a K, yeah, the niggas are hard. Well, people are picking the realest. People are picking the
That's the,
realest. At Cool G Rap alone. Okay.
yeah, that's what Mike. Yeah, yeah.
Alchemist
That's one
Classic.
hey Mike, that's one of Cool G Rap's best verses. That's saying a lot.
I'm glad to hear people are saying the Big Boy had the best verse because people never said that
Yeah.
when it came out. But I'm glad,
No, that's the Dre infatuation over actually like listening to the music bar for bar.
right. Nah, Big Boy killed that joint. I liked
Hmm.
Slim Cutter Calhoun's verse too. And I
Yeah,
want I want to say a real big piece about gangster shit, even though it looks like the realist is gonna win this. I always felt like T.I.'s Dope Boys in the Trap came from C-Bone's verse on there.
right.
It was like Dope Boys from the Trap, like stacked it
Like a
though.
stack of dough. When
Yeah,
beef come around, can't let it go.
yeah. Too bad Jacuzzi bad.
Double punch from
Killed it.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't know,
no, that
man.
whole
I hate
song,
to
Mike,
see
Mike,
this
that
one.
whole song. I mean, Mike, that's one of the best Dungeon Family collaborations. That's what I mean. I love that record, but that's what I mean. Mobb Deep
Yeah.
has that classic hip hop stuff like that. They got Cool G Rap spitting over that crazy, like I think it's like another Scarface sampled loop, and
Mm-hmm.
he's just going crazy on there.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, man,
That's
it's
tough,
hard
man.
to
That's tough to
ignore.
go
Yeah, it's
against,
hard to
man.
ignore. Yeah. So it's
Well,
what?
I'm
It's 8-7 with a wash.
eight
Is that where
seven with a
we're at?
wash. 8-7 with a wash, and we got
Mike, you're in trouble.
temperatures rising in Jazzy Bell.
Told you you're in trouble, Mike. It's only getting worse from here. It's only getting worse from you from here. You definitely
Alright.
should have picked Return of the Gangsta and Crumbling Herb. Definitely. It's all bad. What do the people say about temperatures
All right. What
rising?
y'all got? Temperatures rising or Jazzy Bell? I got Jazzy Bell.
I might pick Jazzy Bell, Mike. And I'm saying that because how about this? I love both of those albums. I love both of those records, but neither one of those songs for me are even one of the 5 best songs on either one of those albums. And still some of their best stuff.
You know, one of my favorite parts about Jazzy Bell is when Dre goes in on the last verse and kind of takes on Cujo's style. I thought that was so dope. And he was like, "Me on a girl in that black on black Latino star." I like that is so dope. But people are picking
Yeah.
temperatures rising. Jazzy Bell's my shit. Temperatures rising. Temperatures rising. All right, we got to be fair. We got to go with the people. I'm in trouble right now.
Mike, you're in big trouble, Mike. I haven't played Mobb Deep's 2 biggest songs. You're in trouble.
Darren Harris says Jazzy Bell is better. Yeah, it is what it is, man. Looks like we're 8-8.
With a wash, Mike, you're in trouble.
All right,
Trouble.
it's mine and artist storytelling part 1.
You're in trouble. You're in trouble. I told you I could pick a Mobb Deep playlist.
Listen, man. I don't.
Told you I could pick a Mobb Deep playlist, Mike. It's
I don't
cold.
know, man. I don't
They're
know.
cold. They're 20,
But
30
hold on.
songs. They're 20, 30 best
You're
songs
the
are as good as
person.
anybody.
You're the person that was saying that you would pick artist storytelling over Bonita Applebaum, right? So you're
No,
not
Mike.
saying so.
Mike, we gonna know, Mike. We're letting the people pick this one because, Mike, the last 2, I'm gonna tell you exactly how I feel. No matter what 2 records are sitting on the Outkast song, like, and so can I say something about Mobb Deep right quick?
What's that?
Mobb Deep is special. Mobb Deep
is
has the
special.
firepower to go against the tribe, to go against the Outkast. You're looking at it. They're that great.
People are picking It's Mine.
Mike, it's pretty
Okay.
great record, Mike.
People are picking It's Mine over the artist storytelling. This is very eye-opening too. Like you said, Mobb Deep, they got haymakers, man. And
Mobb Deep special.
we look at Outkast as, untouchable, and they're clearly getting touched. And I don't think
Mike,
that I just did a bad job of picking songs. You know what I mean? Like, and
No,
the one
but
song
Mike,
that I didn't want to pick actually won.
Mike, I told you that Mobb Deep has better singles than Outkast. You're seeing the proof. Look
I
at
think
it, Mike.
Tribe
Hello and
does
Earth.
too. I think
It's
Tribe
mine.
does too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Quiet Storm and Hootie Hoo. I mean, that's Quiet Storm. I don't even think we need to go to the people on that. And Shook One's Part 2 and Bonds Over Bad Dad. Honestly,
Good
man.
night, Mike. Good night, Mike. You
Yeah,
can't even make an argument for Bombs Over Baghdad.
I can't.
You can't.
I
You
can't.
can't.
I
You
can't.
can't. Mobb Deep is great.
So
They're all time great.
these are some things that I do want to go through though, because this ended up being.
But hold on, Mike, and I want to say this: like Mobb Deep won this, but all of these songs were close and like pick 'em. So that's what I mean about how special Mobb Deep is. It really just depends on how you feel. Our audience feels like these records were stronger. I kind of tend to feel that way too, because part of the reason why I feel like Outkast is the greatest group of all time is because I don't think there's anybody that has 50 songs that match them. I
Shout
feel
out
like
to
there are a lot.
oh,
I
go
feel like
ahead.
there are some who have 30, and Mobb Deep is one of them.
I don't want to miss the super chats, man. Shout out to LP. He just sent us $10. He said, "Great stuff, y'all. Keeping me sane while I'm in this Bay traffic." You know, for everybody else who's listening in the car, we're on streaming
Shout
platforms
out to
too.
the
So
A.
if you're listening to, your podcast on iTunes or Apple Music or whatever, or Spotify, you can look up According to Hip Hop Live on that too and check out previous episodes. But yeah, let's break this down a little bit because I didn't
Yeah,
think I was
let's break
gonna
it
lose
down.
like this. All right, let's look at it in totality. I'm gonna pull the list back up. It looked like Mobb Deep, based on the people mostly, won this 11-8, with there being one wash. So I want to make sure we got all our numbers right. Yeah, that's 9, that's 20. Boom. I think what surprised me, I think the Players Ball surprised me. Players Ball losing to Survival of the Fittest. I think I think the Elevators, an eye for an eye, that surprised me.
That's a wash for me. That's a wash for me, actually, when I were to think about it. That's what I mean when I say it's close.
And Akuma and Give Up the Goods, surprising too.
That could be a wash for me too. I would probably lean on Aquemini slightly over Give Up the Goods, but Mike, that's what I mean. Is like when you hear that beat and then Prodigy starts going in, it's special. Prodigy has a lot of epic rap moments. He has a lot of type of shit that you remember forever. He has the type of stuff that other great rappers and producers go and quote. So it plays into that. When you got to go up against it live, it's just different. I mean, Mike, you got to look at it. Mobb Deep is considered to be a hardcore group, but 9 of the 20 songs that I picked were singles.
You know,
They got great singles.
I hope that Havoc is watching this because we do need Mobb Deep in one of these verses. They definitely deserve it. They made some of the biggest hip hop songs of its era, and maybe not on a commercial level, but you know what I'm saying, on a street level. Francisco Rodriguez says, "Mike, what about Everlasting? I love Everlasting, but I don't think people know that record like that."
I don't think Everlasting would have made it on here though, Mike.
Yeah, sitting in the bathtub, listen to the Isley Brothers and others. I signed my no one to despise.
See, but this is what I'm saying. Okay, so listen to what I'm saying, Mike.
Yeah.
Everlasting is one of those songs why I think Outkast is the greatest group of all time, because that's one of those songs. It's like that's one of their 35 to 50 best songs. And it's like when you get the other cats 35 to 50 best songs, they don't have stuff like Everlasting in there. But in those first 20 to 30 songs, Mike, Tribe, Mobb Deep,
no, that's real.
Wu-Tang. No, they got stuff that's comparable, if not better, than Outkast. It's that 50 song pack that makes me say the Outkast is the greatest group of all time, because I feel like they got 50 songs. You can go 50 songs deep on them, and you can't fuck with them last 15, 20 songs they got the way that you can with the first 30.
Well, the struggle I think there is with Cass, and I think we talked about this before, is the fact that Outkast non-singles are their strongest songs. But their singles are so big. You know what I'm saying? So the singles are huge, but the non-singles are actually the better songs. Like Spody doesn't even have a video.
So can I tell you something? It's like you missed a lot of stuff, but that's the hard thing to read with Outkast album, because it's Mike. I was surprised you didn't put Over the Woods on there. I know you and I both love Over the Woods dearly. Yeah, that's a top 20 Outkast record to me.
I love Over the Woods. Big Boy went crazy on there, but I will say this.
Mike,
I think that
Ain't No Thing.
I thought about Ain't No Thing. I did. I thought about it. But again, what it is the fact that Outkast singles are so big, I would have to leave off a big single for a song that wasn't.
No, Mike, and that's why they're the greatest group of all time to me, because when you get into the whole catalog, it's like, oh, no, they got something everywhere, but just that 2030, it's like, no, other groups have done that. Yeah, Mobb Deep's one of them. Not a lot, not many groups, but
somebody keeps Reggie keeps asking why I didn't put Peaches and Cream on there. You talking about mainstream?
Mainstream. Yeah, he is talking about mainstream. I
Yeah,
think it is,
I
but it
was
ain't
like,
all
Pete's the
peaches
great
and cream.
112. No.
No, because you want to know what mainstream on of their run. Mainstream is probably the weakest Dungeon Family posse cut of the run. Like Thought Process is better, Dirty South is better, Y'all Scared is better. Like literally every other record is better than
I thought
mainstream. Now
about thought process too. My choice was thought process or dirty south, really,
I
and I
would have
was
went with
like,
Thought Process actually. That's what I mean. Outkast got stuff everywhere. But yeah, Mob Deep is special, man.
as an outcast, I was born, wasn't one from the harm that would come to meet me like met life, but yeah, life done sent me through a lot of ups and downs, but it ain't nothing like elevators.
Like
But I ain't the
elevators,
one
but I ain't the
pushing the
one that's
buttons.
pushing the buttons.
I got off
That's
at the
where you know
13th
that's where
floor.
elevators came from, Mike.
Incredible, man. Incredible stuff. But yeah, man, good job picking the Mob Deep. I mean,
Oh, I
I
told
knew
you,
when I
Mike.
knew I was going against Mob Deep, I was like, okay, I gotta hit him with some hits because I know Cass hits are just bigger than Mob hits.
But
Because I
not
don't
better
feel no,
necessarily.
no, not better necessarily, but I just didn't feel like I could have beat Mob Deep on the B side. You know what I'm saying? Like if I would have went more B side stuff with Cass, I don't think Cass's non singles beat Mob's non singles. If that makes any
So here,
sense.
so here's what's so special about Mob Deep. They made B-side stuff, A-side classic stuff. Like
Exactly.
stuff like Give Up the Goods was a single. Survival of the Fittest is a single. It sounds kind of B-side-ish. They made it so classic that it was like, nah, like that's us. Like they made it A-side. And
No,
so it's
definitely.
like, that's what I mean. That's what I was telling you. It's like, well, no, Mike, their singles are better because it's like, no, Survival of the Fittest, classic. Give Up the Goods, classic. Shook Ones Part 2, classic. Quiet Storm, classic. Hell on Earth, classic. It ain't just dope. It ain't just great for the times. These are classic singles.
Man,
Yeah, they
that was
got.
fun, bro. Like you know, so
Yeah, that was
I
fun.
think
I
that
think
might
that
have
was
been
probably the
the
most fun that we had doing one,
yeah. I
actually.
think that was probably the best mock verses that we've done. Which one should we do next?
Oh, dude, I don't even know.
I'm sure the fans will think of something. Yeah,
Yeah,
let
I
us
mean, that
know
was
what
something one of
mock
the fans
verses
said,
y'all
so
want
we'll
us
just
to.
let them pick the next one, too.
Yeah, yeah. Let us know what mock verses y'all want us to do next, and let us know who y'all want to get, who y'all want to cover each artist. Excuse me. Yeah. So speaking of which, and maybe this is somebody that we could throw in the mix too, because I know you had a lot to say about this new Snoop album, Algorithm,
I do.
and to talk about Snoop's career in general. Snoop just released, I guess, his first Def Jam album. Snoop has a position over at Def Jam. I don't want to get the position wrong, so I'll just say he has a position over there. And they're crediting Snoop for signing Benny the Butcher to Def Jam as well. But in the midst of all of that, Snoop was able to put out his first Def Jam release, and it's called Snoop Dogg Presents Algorithm. And look, it kind of reads like a compilation, a playlist, however you want to do it. But yeah, Snoop put together this in a Quincy Jones style. What were your thoughts after listening to the album?
After listening to it the first time, I was like, well, this is the type of playlist you want like Apple or Tidal or Spotify to put together for you, but they never do because they can't get shit right this long. This is one of the best compilations that I've heard in a long time, Mike.
Yeah,
It's
I
one of the
was.
best compilations I've heard in a long time. I can't remember the last time I heard a compilation this good.
Look, Snoop really did a great job of putting this together.
Excellent job.
And let you know how in tune he is with music still. And you know, never left. And like I was telling you offline, I've always felt like Snoop is kind of like a Boosie Collins or George Clinton of this era of hip hop, where it's like he's always embraced the younger artists, the youth, the youthful sounds. He's always messed around with a lot of different sounds too, because he came in the game on some gangster rap funk shit with, you know, being under Dre and all of that. But he's always kind of kept that up. Who was that artist that he had? What's her name? And if people in the chat might know, was it Michelle Williams or something like that? Who was on All Around the World on the Blueprint 2 on Jay Z's song?
Oh, I know who you're. I can't remember her name
Yeah.
offhand.
So
It's
he's
been a minute,
always
Mike.
been able to be around great talent too. You know what I'm saying? And I think this compilation really brings all of that in full circle. Everybody that was on the compilation, I mean, they sound great on the records they were on. It started off with the Redman and Method Man, you know, collaboration, which I thought was dope. I just felt I love the whole vibe of the thing. For the people in the room, what
Yeah,
was your favorite song on there? Because people are listing out some songs right now. Yeah,
yeah.
Latoya, that was her name, Latoya Williams.
So, Mike, I want to say a couple things. First of all, it's like Snoop did a masterful job on this album because he wore a lot of different hats on this project, obviously, and he wore them all well. He's kind of like the DJ, the orchestrator, he's the architect, and sometimes he's the MC and collaborator on here. And every hat he wears on here, he wears very well. This album plays extremely well, Mike. Like you spoke to something, you know what stuck out to me? There's a lot of talent on here.
Mm-hmm.
The people on here are talented, Mike.
And they
And it was
sound good
refreshing
on,
to
yeah.
and it was refreshing to hear talent that I wasn't familiar with. And I kept finding myself going back. Like, I'm listening while I'm doing different things, and I kept on having to go back. I'm like, who is that?
Exactly.
I'm like, okay. Like I haven't done that about an album in a minute, especially a compilation. The Malaya chick is dope. Mike,
Mm-hmm.
Inspiration and Anxiety are both really strong records. I enjoy both of those records a whole lot. The album has great sequencing. You spoke to it, Mike, behind the scenes. Snoop still has his pulse on the music. This compilation is proof of that. If he really is like the architect and behind the scenes and put this together, which it appears he did.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized something, Mike, and this goes back to the Benny conversation we were having. We were like, excuse me, what does Def Jam benefit? What does Benny benefit from signing with Def Jam? And when I listened to this album, Mike, a lot of thoughts were occurring to me, and I'm like, Snoop is why it makes sense, Mike, because nobody in this culture can bring people together or call people at the drop of the dime and get them in the room the way Snoop can. And that's why Def Jam wanted them. And that probably is why Benny is saying, no, Snoop had a lot to do with that, because I thought about it, Mike. He's letting you know how strong he is on the first track, Mike. The album starts off with Redman. Redman had problems with Def Jam last time checked, with about how he was treated walking out the door. You feel what I'm saying? So just the fact that the album is starting off with Redman rapping on a Def Jam based compilation, it speaks to the power of Snoop and everybody and how they gravitate towards him. And so now Snoop being a part of Def Jam makes more sense, and Benny being part of the Def Jam makes more sense, because here's one thing that I think we forgot, and this is why I want to talk about Snoop's catalog some. Oh, Snoop got it like that, and Ben had it like that, and we forgot.
And you know what? It's interesting you say that, because I didn't even think we were going to have that part of the conversation today. But yeah, you're right. We questioned last episode, like, what does Def Jam add to what Benny has going on? But you're right. When you listen to the sequencing of what Snoop was able to do with this compilation, those are some of the things that we were saying that Benny was missing in relation to his counterparts in Conway and Westside Gun. Like, he hasn't been able to put together an effort like a Pray for Paris, or an effort like, From a King to a God, sequence-wise, feature-wise, production-wise. And based on what we're seeing here with Snoop, with the help of Def Jam, Snoop, and Benny coming together for that actually may happen in a real, real big way. So that probably was more of a musical decision than a financial decision, where we always seem to look at record deals as financial decisions.
No, Mike, I'm glad you said that, because one thing I thought about it is like, well, if Snoop putting projects together like this now and doing sequencing like this, a la his original mentor, Dr. Dre, that makes me more excited about hearing Benny's project if Snoop is going to have his pulse on it and be adding something to it and listening to it and being there for some of the process. So now some of it starts to make more sense. And the quality of this album gives you more reason as somebody who's a fan of Benny to be excited about him being signed to Def Jam. I got. Go ahead. I got a few more musical notes because I wanted to give
LP said something I want to address too. He said that Snoop is a Def Jam fan. Yeah, and it shows in the album cover where he has the Warren G plaque on the wall. He has the EPMD plaque on the wall. It was Public Enemy plaque on the wall, and it was also a Slick Rick plaque on the wall. I think that it's highly noted that Snoop is very influenced by Slick Rick and his style and the way that he approached hip-hop music. And, coming from the era of hip-hop that Snoop comes from, you can't not be a Def Jam fan. And the fact that he's been able to do this whole thing full circle from the West Coast and go to Def Jam and kind of, control the climate and bring it back in a sense, I think is really dope. And this compilation really, set the tone for that and let people know that this just wasn't a a PR move by Def Jam. This is a real serious thing.
Right. And so here's what I mean about great sequencing and song structure and where it matters, Mike. I mean, the highlight of this album might be Big Subwoofer, right? I think Big
I think
Subwoofer
so.
is the highlight of the album.
Let me pull up.
I
I'm pulling
mean,
up
that's,
the track list
and
right
there's a
now
lot of highlights. But I
because
just
it's a
felt
lot.
like, yeah, like 40, Cube, and Short and Snoop all came off on that record well to me.
I like
And
the
I
beat
really
that was
enjoyed
on it and
hearing all of
everything.
them together.
Yeah,
I enjoyed hearing them together. It's like they had fun doing it, even if they weren't together. But here's what I mean about sequence and song structure. So that's a West Coast record, Mike. Immediately, the next song is the East Coast record with Benny, Kiss, and Buster. He's giving you balance,
yeah,
and there's never too much hip hop in a row. There's never too much R&B in a row. He's switching it up. Been Through by Hey Dion is dope. By and by Jane Hancock. Jane Hancock is dope too. Like her records on here. I thought By and By was the best one. Diamond Life with Mary. Make It Last. I was like, I took a note, Mike. I put Make It Last is the R&B soul music that I used to go to Janae Aiko for. That kind of toxic R&B. The
I'm
only low
I'm
lights
glad
for the album for
October
me, Mike.
London was on here too because he was another person that I've always given Snoop credit for. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
introducing me to. Snoop's always been
yeah.
around really good artists. But what were you about to say? I'm sorry.
I mean, the only drawback to this album to me are like the last few tracks. It did lose a little steam at the end. I felt like no smut on my name and Get My Money is kind of just like okay compared to the other records coming before it. But Mike, there's stuff everywhere, man. Like New Oldies dope, Make Some
Yeah.
Money's dope, Go to War.
You know, I
Yeah,
think that Snoop as an artist and being around so many different sounds in his career, and we were going to speak to his catalog. I know we had that conversation earlier, but when you look at how diverse that his catalog has been throughout his career and how he's been able to change with the times, and you know the fact that he made Rhythm and Gangsta with the Neptunes and with other producers and all of that, I think he's
right.
taken all of this stuff in and really has learned as it's kind of like a player, right? Like I was out there on the court, I played for a bunch of different systems. Now it's time for me to sit in the background and be a coach and
Hmm.
utilize all of the things that I've learned throughout my illustrious career and my incredible catalog and apply them to other people because he's always been a great collaborator. And I think of all the people that we talk about with great catalogs, I think he's probably been the best collaborator. I know we give Jay-Z a lot of credit for being a great collaborator, but is he a better collaborator than Snoop?
No,
I don't think so. Because when Snoop
I
got on
mean,
that Mariah Carey Say Something song that the Neptunes did, he fit right in that song like he was, you know what I mean? Like it was
here's
one.
why, Mike. He came into the game having to fit in. It used to be Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg the first couple of years of his
Hmm.
career. So he had to learn about teamwork very early, Mike. I mean, he was, working with the DOC and Dr. Dre and the Dog Pound and Warren G. So, I mean, he came into the game working under teamwork and understanding what teamwork meant. He just had star capability and star power and hit making ability. So him stepping out to his own was never a problem, but he understood those things very early on because that's how he came into the game. So that's what I mean when you're talking about he's a better collaborator. It's like, is anybody a better collaborator than the dude that made Deep Cover and Nothing But a G? You get what I'm
No,
saying?
you're
Like,
right.
no.
And these are collaboration songs. So yeah, you're right. It's
These
hard
are
to put it.
collaborative.
Yeah.
He made his name on collaborations. That's what I'm
No.
saying.
No, you're right. And you got the best director in hip hop in Dr. Dre and his best subject, for lack of a better term, in Snoop Dogg. And Snoop
Yeah.
is, he's quietly, without, people saying, okay, I signed the Snoop Dogg, he's quietly been around great new talent really for the past 20 years. And we haven't really given any credence
Right.
to it. You know what I mean? Because you look at somebody
So
like October London. Like I heard him on, I want to say maybe a project that Snoop did about 4 or 5 years ago. But I'm like, this guy sounds like Sam Cooke or something. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's it's awesome,
so
man.
and Mike, and this is what I mean. It's like, we haven't sung Snoop's praises enough about his catalog actually, because not saying it's like a top five catalog because I don't think that it's that. But Snoop's made a lot of great stuff, Mike. Like I was going through the non-doggy style hits, And I was like, man, 90% of the rappers would kill to have made these records that never were on Doggy Style. And I realized something too. Doggy Style gets a lot of Illmatic treatment. Snoop gets a lot of Illmatic treatment because of Doggy Style. Like, Doggy Style is so big and so massive and so important that it's like we kind of downplay some of the other stuff. Mike, I'm going to list Snoop's hit records that aren't on Doggy Style and tell me if this doesn't sound like a Hall of Fame rap career. No Doggy Style records, Mike. Bitch Please. Mm-hmm. Snoop Dogg with Timberland. Lay Low.
I didn't like that record. Me
From the Church to the Palace. Beautiful. Drop It Like It's Hot. Let's Get Blown. Vato. That's That Shit. Boss Life. I Wanna Fuck with Akon. Mike, most rappers would kill. Those are 11 hit records, Mike. Yeah. Most rappers don't even have 11 hit records. We're not even talking about Doggy Style. And Mike, that's not even like the albums. Like, you and I were talking today. It's like Rhythm and Gangster and the Blue Carpet Treatment are great albums, Mike.
I love Rhythm and Gangster. Great. I listen to Rhythm and Gangster from beginning to end. Like, you know, it starts off with the Alchemist track, you know, with the gospel sample, yeah.
Right, so let's talk about Rhythm and Gangster. I love to give you light. Mike, that's a great record. Mike, Bang Out. Can I get a flick with you? Bang Out's one of Snoop's best songs. Mike, Ups and Downs is one of Snoop's best songs.
Sample,
The Business.
Yeah.
Step Your Game Up's on Rhythm and Gangster.
I like that record too.
Mike, we didn't even bring up Mike on the Blue Carpet Treatment. Crazy. Mike, the intro to the Blue Carpet Treatment, think about it, is one of Snoop's 5 best lyrical performances. Vato, Candy with E40.
I like that record too.
Imagine with Dr. Dre and D'Angelo.
Classic.
Mike, Pimp Slap, where he's dishing Suge on Paid the Cost to Be the Boss.
Yeah.
Long Beach to Brick City with Redman. Mike, Everywhere. Buckham with Buckham off of Top Dog, the Dre track with Fredro, I think from Onyx. No, with Sticky Fingers from Onyx. Mm-hmm. Mike, this is the non-Doggy Style stuff.
M. Lynette says Rhythm and Gangster is my favorite Snoop album. I've heard people say that. Rhythm and Gangster has a dope feel to it, and I think that, you know, this compilation, it kind of speaks to, you know, how in sync he is even with R&B, soul type of, you know, vibes. And he was able to do that on Rhythm and Gangsta. I think that might have been the first time that we saw him do that on a big level. Because, like, songs like Never Leave You with LaToya Williams, like,
Rhythm and Gangster is where he grew up, but still knew how to, like, keep it street. And so it was a beautiful balance and blend. You could tell Snoop was more grown, but you could tell he was still, like, had his ear to the street. The Pharrell collabs, I mean, I feel like him and Pharrell make the best collaborations. I feel like that's Pharrell's best collaborator as far as hip-hop artists.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, as far as like, you know, as far as like a producer and an MC getting together, you know, like you have those combos. Like, I feel like Timberland's best combo was Jay-Z. I feel like Pharrell's best combo was Snoop.
Timberland's is Missy, but yeah, I know what you mean.
No. I mean, no. See, that's what I mean. I'm not really necessarily talking about in your camp. That's what I mean. It's like two people really stepping out to collaborate. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how I feel about like the clip shit with Pharrell. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And you know what? I like Pharrell and Busta too. And I think it's more of an energy thing.
Snoop's better though. It is. I mean, Busta don't have no Beautiful or Drop It Like It's Hot. I'm sorry, not with Pharrell.
They don't have Pastor Cavassier. They don't have. What it is right now?
That's not touching Beautiful or Drop It Like It's Hot. That's Beautiful's what I'm saying. If Pastor Cavassier is their peak, then that's still a bronze medal compared to Drop It Like It's Hot and Beautiful.
I think you're right. So where do you put Snoop's catalog all together? Like, who do you think Snoop should have done a versus with? Because we saw what happened in the DMX. Was the DMX the best versus matchup for Snoop?
Okay, Mike. So I want you to understand, I just named all these Snoop records. I didn't name any Doggy Style records. But you know what else I didn't name, Mike? That means I didn't name any Chronic or Chronic 2001 records. Don't nobody want that smoke.
Yeah.
Don't nobody want this smoke. That's what I'm saying.
I know. I was saying this when it happened. I said what Snoop played tonight, or, you know, during that versus, I was like, I don't think Jay-Z would have beat him.
So, Mike, when we were asking, like, who would beat LL in a versus, this is the guy. Yeah. This is the guy. Yeah, this is the guy. Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's that guy.
That stuff
he's that guy.
That stuff is
Because
tough.
think about it. Because think about it. I just named 10 hit records not on Doggy Style, which means he could go with those 10, and then he could start dipping into Doggy Style and the Chronic 2001. You're not gonna win. You're
Jermaine
not gonna
Young
win.
says Jay-Z and Pharrell greater than Snoop and Pharrell. I think I'm gonna agree with that too.
Where's the beautiful and the drop it like it's hot at?
They got Give It To Me.
Like I said, where's the beautiful and the drop it like it's hot at? Y'all keep giving me these records that are a
Give
level
It To Me
below.
is better than both of those.
Huh?
I think Give It
What?
To Me is better than both of those. Beautiful is
Say
debatable.
what?
Beautiful is debatable, but I think Give It To Me is better than Drop It Like It's Hot.
Mike.
What about La La La? Did they got a collaboration like that? You gonna go Vato?
Mike, I'll give you La 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 over Give It To Me. I'll give you La 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 over Give It To Me.
Give It To Me is a banger. It might be the Jay-Z song that has the most legs.
I mean, Mike, how about this? If Snoop doesn't make Doggy Style, like Drop It Like It's Hot and Beautiful are his biggest played records. Like I hear Beautiful more than I hear Give It To Me.
Do you?
Don't you?
I don't know about that.
Mike, Drop It Like It's Hot still plays in the club. Give It To Me still playing in the club.
Give It To Me does. That it's about to go down. What about Allure?
No, Mike. That part of the song plays. Mike, Drop It Like It's Hot still plays.
Nah, I mean it does, but Give It To Me does
No, Mike,
too.
it does.
I don't think they're giving Give It To Me enough
they let
credit.
Pharrell and Snoop get through their parts before the DJ mixed some other shit, not just the "It's About to Go Down" part.
Everybody knows.
That's not playing the record. That's not playing the record, Mike. You know that's not playing the record.
Everybody knows to Give It To Me
That's called transitioning. That's called transitioning the mix on a live set. It's not playing the record.
I always hear that beat. No, I always hear that beat. They'll go into it. When the Remy's in the system, ain't no telling when I did some nets when I be yelling. I think that's when
it's not Drop It Like It's Hot. It's not Drop It Like It's Hot or Beautiful. I'm sorry. Like, what do the people say?
Well, DeCarlo says facts, Mike. M. Lynn says Give It To Me is not better than Drop It Like It's Hot.
It's not.
Shannon Williams says Allure. That's another one, man. They got joints together. But I will give it to Snoop and Pharrell. They've actually made a lot more music together and than Pharrell and Jay did.
A lot of hits.
Yeah,
a lot of hits.
They got a lot of stuff. All right, before we get up out of here, man, I know we were going to talk about that Ray and Ghostface Drink Champs interview, but nobody seems to be able to access it. So we hadn't seen it yet. We just seen a couple of previews, so we might end up talking about it Wednesday when everybody's seen it. But, I did see that, they're going to be talking about, I guess, some things that we've never heard. I think Ghostface was telling a story about how they were able to make amends with Biggie the day before, he was murdered in the club and all that stuff. So,
Mike, that's great. Supreme Clientele 2, Purple Tape 3.
I was just going to ask you, like, what do you hope to get from this Drink Champs interview?
I just told you what I want. I want to hear about Supreme Clientele 2, the Purple Tape 3. I want to hear what's going on, who's doing the production, who they're thinking about collaborating with. Ray and Ghost are always entertaining and, going to have some colorful stories for you, of course. So I expect it to be like, how about this? It's hard to follow up, Ye. This is an appropriate Ye follow-up because you got some guys who are legendary, iconic, and big enough in stature and personality that they don't mind coming after something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're like, shit, it's Ray and Ghost. You know what I mean? Like, people love us.
I think the thing
it's peanut butter and jelly.
The thing for me is, people have been in the game so long and, we've heard and seen so many interviews. It's like, I'm not sure what we're going to hear that we haven't heard, but again, people feel very comfortable with Nori, and I'm sure they got individual stories because they're sitting down with one of their peers. So, so it should be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I don't think we're going to get like any. Do you want to hear another Wu-Tang album? How do you feel about that?
Old Dirty Bastard's not here. I'm just ambivalent about it. Like, I don't think people understand how key he was to the feel and the grittiness that's on Enter the Wu-Tang. Like, you can't replace a guy like that. And also, too, Mike, it's just when you're growing up and you're a teenager and you're seeing that run that they had, that's the best run ever, it's like there is a large part of me that is like would rather remember them in that run
Let's leave
than
it
to
there.
have
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather them leave it there because they're all still got their solo material and endeavors and all that cracking. It's like I'm cool if they leave it there because they actually provided us with enough classic material, unlike Outkast, to be happy with their placement of it to the point that they got whole Hulu shows being made about them. Like I'm cool if they never get in the booth and put together another Wu-Tang album.
Yeah, because
Like
what
I'm
they
cool
did
with
was magic, man. I mean, you said unlike
yeah.
Outkast, you want to see another Outkast album?
I mean, because I feel like they still left us wanting something more. I don't feel like Wu Tang left us wanting with everything. They kind of emptied the chamber a lot, and like in a good way. They gave us what they had to give, and it was
Yeah.
all time great. I'm cool with it.
I've heard
You're never gonna see that
Andre.
again.
I've heard Andre say before that it's they've always felt like, or he always felt like they were making music under the gun in a sense where nobody was expecting anything from them, so it was easier to make it from that place. But now that there's expectations, then you know it's harder to create. And I think it's interesting you say leave it there. I think he wants to leave it there, but it still feels incomplete. But
So
yeah.
hold on. So let's speak to that comment right there. And I don't necessarily care for it, and I'm going to tell you why. Well, you usually tend to get measured in other spheres of entertainment, in sports, in competitive nature,
Hmm.
by those moments.
By the adverse moments, the flu
By the
game.
adverse moments. Like Mike, you know exactly where I was going. It's like it's not just that Mike won. It's like how he won. It's
Yeah.
who he beat. He
Who
beat a
he
lot of
won
people
with.
in their prime.
Right.
You know, it's the circumstances of it that's part of it. You know, it's the fact that if you look at a lot of the teams that Mike played against, it's like, well, after you got done with Mike and Scotty, a lot of the time, like Mike and Scotty were usually two of the three best players on the floor, but a lot of those teams they played in the finals, the fourth, fifth, sixth best player was on the other team. Go look at the
Oh.
93 Suns roster.
Oh yeah.
Go look at the 93 Suns roster. Like, the best players on the court are Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, Scottie Pippen in that order. The next four players are the Phoenix Suns.
You know what's so
They won
interesting about
4-2.
Andre 3000 to me is, for somebody, because, growing up in Atlanta and, seeing Outkast in their prime and at the height of their powers and, how he was able to dress all wild in the 90s when nobody was doing that. And he seems so confident in that. And I saw that as like, yo, man, this dude is really dope. You can go out here and just be who you want to be as long as you're great at what you're doing. And to ultimately see that he doesn't have that kind of confidence is wild.
Hold on, Mike. I'm going to go to something. You were talking about John Stockton. Why did you say that he was better than Steph? You brought up the pressure, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you said, no, I done seen John Stockton hit a game-winning shot to win a series in the playoffs
Yeah.
under pressure. You said, I haven't seen Steph do that. What? Under pressure.
Yeah.
And thereby you separated some because of what one man did under pressure that you saw him perform and succeed at the highest level at, as opposed to a man that you feel like hasn't.
Well, and to take that into
Pressure.
hip hop terms, right? I think even Jay-Z's performance on the Blueprint 2 album and the Black album, that's actually operating under pressure after Ether, right? What Nas did on Ether and Stillmatic, that's operating under pressure, and those are
Mike,
things that push you above the fray. And
that's what
I hate that in hip hop we give more credence to people who walk away from that and just we want to remember everything good. And so no one holds that to task when considering the greats. And again, I'm not slamming down on Andre because he's never said he's one of the greats in this and that and the third or whatever. That's what the people are saying. And he is. He's
no,
done great things.
no, he is. Yeah.
But
No, Mike,
yeah,
you're right, Mike. I mean, Mike, you kind of spoke to it, Mike. I don't think anybody was under the pressure, MC wise, that Nas was under before Ether came out. No rapper had ever been put to the fire like that was legendary. Like
yeah,
a lot of the respect that he has from the modern day MC is because of how he responded. Mike, let's go back a generation, Mike. LL Cool J
yeah.
before
I
he
was gonna
made
go
Mama
there.
Said Knock You Out, Mike.
Yeah, I was gonna
It was
go
a
there too.
rap.
Yeah,
Mike, for me, still to this day, like LL, like that's his career defining moment for me.
I
Because the
mean,
pressure was on and he responded.
I mean, let's look
And
at
he
Ghostface,
responded with
right?
epic work.
Let's look at
He responded
Ghostface
with
on
epic
Supreme
work.
Clientele. That was
Yeah, Mike.
like he was serving some time. You know what I'm saying? They were coming off of
Mike, he was dying. His health
immobility.
was in jeopardy.
Yeah,
He was sick.
yeah.
He was sick and in and out of jail.
So as much as I love Dre and I love Cass, I don't like that statement, honestly. And again, it's and shout out to Big Boy who's continuously making music, and hopefully the big sleepover comes, in any week now because they're out there performing. He's on Jimmy Fallon, but yeah, I mean, it's odd though. Again, someone that seemed so confident and comfortable in their own skin with the blonde wigs and all that stuff seems to not have that confidence in their ability, and I just think that's wild. But
Literally one of the best MCs we've ever heard.
I think that's why I don't feel like we're ever going to get another Outkast effort because I don't feel like he's up for that challenge. And I'll even say that about Tribe, right? Before Fife died, because that album was in the works anyway. They were up for the challenge of making another Tribe album.
That's saying a lot.
That says a lot. That takes a lot.
Their legacy had been cemented. Legacy had been cemented.
They didn't have to do that.
They didn't
and
have
I'm
to
not saying
nothing.
that, Cass owes us any albums or anything like that, but if you're up for the challenge, this is the biggest challenge to show that, you know what? You can make a dope album because we're dope artists, we're dope musicians at whatever age we're at. But I think that that's another thing that, Dre fears too, is just looking like the old person on the mic. But I thought the hip hop had gotten past that.
So, and maybe that's just me because I'm competitive. Like when I say Outkast is the best group of all time, it's because I don't see any other 4 albums as strong from any other group. Even if the albums are great, I don't think they're as great as like Outkast, 4th best album, is better than whatever your best group's is 4th best album. But Mike, a 5th album would have ended that conversation, and that was my thing about them doing it. You feel me?
A 5th album right now, because honestly, if we want to keep it 100, and we just got to keep it real, and I know we want to pick and choose, Idlewild is technically their last album. Do you really want to end on that note? Like, it's just what it is. Like, it's billed as an Outkast album. It's a soundtrack.
That sound like that. That's really the song skipping and slowing down, like he talking about on Rosa Parks. If that's the case,
right? But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's again, when you look at music and the scope of their musical peers, if you're just talking about hip hop or if you're just talking about music in general, you were talking last week about Stevie Wonder's album in the 90s. Like, he knew that he wasn't, songs in the key of life Stevie, but he made the album anyway.
Yeah. But he was also Stevie. That's what I mean. He was like 13 years removed from Songs in the Key of Life.
Right.
And that was like, and Songs in the Key of Life is like towards the end of his run, not in the middle. Like, he had been removed from it. But he was still out there putting in work, and people still loved it because it was still Stevie. I told you, my mom still went and bought the tape.
All right, man, it's 5:30. I know we got to get up out of here in a second.
One more thing. You want to talk about the Gibbs and Kiss record right quick?
Yeah, let's talk about the Gibbs and Kiss record. It was fire. What else?
It's fire. Mike, I was actually about to say, on to some dudes who actually want to rap and love to rap.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
So you want to know what my takeaway from the record?
Go ahead.
What?
I was going to say possible song of the year nominee or something.
Mike, get out my head. I was like, this is one of the best rap records this year.
Yeah, Black Illuminati is strong.
It's already, Mike, you can go ahead and put it down now. This is making our top 20 rap songs of the year. That was my thought. I was like, this making the yearbook.
Okay. I hate to be like this because everybody, does so much stuff together. They sound so good together. I wouldn't mind hearing them do like a little EP together.
Wouldn't mind hearing 5 or 6 tracks by The Alchemist.
Oh.
Wouldn't mind that at all. But here's what I'll tell you, Mike. Here's what my overall take was outside of that, though. I said this record is very Lemon-like, as in when Conway and Method Man got together for Lemon last year. It's a tone setter. He went and picked the legend who he respects and loves, who's still active and great, and they made a great record together. That's one of the best songs of the year, just like Conway and Meth did last year with Lemon. And so this makes me get excited for Gibbs' project the same way Conway got me excited about his project with Lemon, because it's one of those things, not only is the record great, but he knows his audience. He's sticking to his audience and his guns. Fuck that happy shit.
You know what? I wanted to ask you this, man. I mean, even though he didn't drop anything this year, is Jadakiss possibly MC of the year or lyricist of the year or something? Because what Jadakiss has done in this year is interesting, and it's hard to even say anything.
We're gonna have to give Kiss all jokes aside, Mike. We just gonna have to give Kiss a whole page in the yearbook just talking about like what he is and who he means to the game. Because here's what I realized when I was like, because I watched the video and played it up on my TV while I was listening to it while I was getting ready for the show, and I was like, man, this dude has not changed since I first heard him in 1997.
It's crazy.
Yeah. He has not changed. And I mean that in a great way, as in like, and when you really think about it, it's like, man, he's been on everybody's shit.
His consistency has pushed him past a lot of people who
it's remarkable,
who
Mike.
Catapulted, above him initially. But his consistency has pushed him past people.
Mike, because he's still spitting bars as strong as he was 20 years ago when you call him for 16.
Yeah.
You can call him for 16 like it's 97 or like it's 07 or like it's 17. You can call kids for 16. It doesn't matter. 97, 07, 17. You can get those 16 from Kiss.
It's hard to compare him to anybody in any sport.
No, that's what I mean. We're just going to have to give him his own page. We just got I don't know how to classify it anymore because like
Leo Manning said Jadakiss is the 2021 MVP.
He might be Rap's MVP. Mike, he's just, it's beautiful to see him get these flowers like this. It is.
And not only is he getting the flowers, but he's living up to it whenever he's called on, like he always has. He's like Tony Glenn or something, man.
I said this during last year's show. His calling card might be, and I think that it is, it's like, no, this is the best 16-bar verse performer ever.
All right, before we get up out of here, I know we 2 hours in, and there's so much that we had to cover today. Did you hear about Drake reportedly pulling out his song from French Montana's album due to Astro World? I'm just going to say this.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I'm going to say this. I think that's unfortunate that, we know that French Montana's efforts or his collaborations with, Drake, they always chart high. Like if we look at French Montana's, like if you search him on Apple Music or whatever streaming platform you have, all of the Drake collaborations go first. So I'm sure that however it worked out,
Drake collaborations go like that. When you pull up Wayne and Ross shit, it does it. And that's even with all their hits. His stuff be popping up like in the top 10.
I don't understand what it really correlates to. Like, what does Astro World or whatever's going on with that, what does that have to do with you being on this person's album that they kind of expected you to be on there? Like, what does one have to do with the other?
See, this is what happens when the machine controls you, though. It's like, just because that's the machine at work. I really don't know how else to parse my words other than that.
Well, I hate that for French Montana, man, because again, when you centered a rollout around something or around possible or a collaboration that was already on your track list, because he put that out, I want to say maybe a week or two ago when he was announcing the album. And
I feel like it's been 3 weeks now.
Yeah, it might have been 3 weeks now. And you don't have that, and it's like a person pulls out days before your album release, and it's like, that's kind of whack.
I mean, I told you, Mike, I would never record with him again.
I don't think I would either, because again, I can't depend on you at this point.
Yeah.
You could just pull the rug under me whenever possible.
Right. We're going to get in the elevator together. I'm going to smile, shake hands and stuff, and then we're going to get off the elevator. I'm not going to fuck with you no more.
Because again, that's like somebody, let's just say, I'm promoting a concert or something. And, I'm selling tickets. And one of the reasons why I'm able to sell tickets is because I got you on the flyer and people know that you're going to be there. And you tell me 2 days before that, well, I'm not going to be there. Not going to compensate anything or the ticket, buyers or any of that stuff. I can't do a show with you no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? You put me in
this is what I mean about this is the machine at work. This is the machine at on both sides. This is Drake making business decisions based on the machine. But this is also French Montana that's crafted out a career based on a lot of guest appearances
I
and
agree.
being involved in the machine. And that's what I'm talking about. When you part of the machine, oh, I mean, the machine can burn you. And so I'm going to finish this off by saying that's why I love groups like Mobb Deep, because Mobb Deep made classic shit. Like Mike, I told you, it's like you can't even go find Mobb Deep like getting on tracks together outside of like dudes from Queens. Like if it's not LL or Nas, they not even really
You're
working
right.
with you. But they do great work within their own camp and within themselves, and you can lean on that. And so French Montana has made a career where he's leaned on a lot of guest appearances, and now it's biting him a little bit. That's the machine at work on both sides.
You're right. 100%. I think that's a good way to leave it. All right. Well, we're gonna check out this Raekwon and Ghost Drink Champs, and we'll probably talk about that Wednesday. Probably talk about even more than that Wednesday because so much happens so fast. I don't
I
know,
was about
man.
to say, Mike.
Thanksgiving is coming up, so maybe we won't talk Wednesday. So we'll talk amongst ourselves and see what works. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
day
yeah.
before
We'll work
Thanksgiving.
something.
We'll work
Yeah,
something out for you guys.
we'll work something out. We'll work a schedule out. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we'll work something out for the people. But until then, make sure you go to According to Hip Hop on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you hadn't already subscribed, and click the bell icon so you can know that when we're on live. And I'll make sure I put in the community section where we're gonna go live next. And yeah, man, that was fun today, bro.
Yeah, it was good. I had fun.
All right, y'all have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend and enjoy your Thanksgiving festivities.